ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
I'm Bev Turner. Thank you for joining us on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. President Trump announces he will not be imposing tariffs on Britain or other European nations.
Well, the US president has hailed talks with the NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte as very productive and claims that a deal on Greenland is done.
However, in an interview last night, the NATO chief said the issue of whether Greenland remains with Denmark did not come up in talks.
So, is this the last we'll see over tensions in the territory?
But it's not all been plain sailing in Davos. The US president took aim at the state of European nations.
Perhaps how you two and the places where you come from can do much better by following what we're doing, because certain places in Europe are not even recognizable, frankly, anymore. They're not recognizable.
Trump will be returning to the stage a little later this morning, which will no doubt bring more fireworks.
Yes, he's going to be meeting President Zelensky as he describes the deal on the war in Ukraine is reasonably close.
Elsewhere today, the House of Lords has backed a move to ban under-16s from social media platforms.
A tearful Prince Harry gives evidence in his case against the publishers of the Daily Mail, telling the court the press made Meghan's life a misery.
After months of mounting pressure, British farmers are taking direct action against a broken supply chain, threatening the future of British food production.
We're here at the Lidl distribution centre in Doncaster, where the farmers' blockade has begun. Tractors have blocked lorries here coming in and out of the distribution centre, and it's all in protest against inheritance tax and trying to get better food security and better prices for farmers.
British Army veterans could face prosecution for their conduct during the Troubles after MPs voted to remove protections in the controversial Legacy Act.
A school readiness crisis, as 1 in 4 children starting reception last year were not toilet trained. So we're asking this morning if it's becoming teachers' responsibility to raise children as well as teach them.
And in sport this morning, another good night in the Champions League. Wins for Liverpool, Newcastle and Chelsea, which keeps them all in that important top 8. Rory McIlroy tells John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton to put their money where their mouth is if they want to play in the Ryder Cup again. And Manchester City will refund fans tickets after that embarrassing loss in Norway.
It's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
How do you fancy going on a little trip?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to go on a trip. Where are we going?
Next couple of weeks, we're going round the moon.
Oh, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you fancy it, Paul?
Absolutely, yeah.
We'll go to the moon with you.
Yeah, because you know Artemis 2 is taking off in the next couple of weeks.
I know all about that,
yeah. And it's going all round the moon, all crew on board, but you can go yourself. You can get a ticket.
Really?
Oh, here we go.
Thanks to NASA.
This is right.
No.
Oh, really?
Thanks to NASA. And look at this. I'll show you this, because I've got my ticket.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There's my ticket. 6. I don't know where camera 6 is.
It's the one in front of you.
Oh, that one. It's that one. So there you go. So there's my ticket. I've got tickets for the whole family. So we're going. It's a family trip. But I mean, what it is. I mean, I know you're going to say, well, it's nonsense. But your name and your ticket is put on a hard drive, which is going to be on board the craft. So your name will fly around.
Oh,
the moon.
your name will go to the moon. I see.
It's good though, isn't it?
That's so you.
I'm not really impressed.
Oh, give up.
So
would you not like your name to be flying around the moon?
I'm not fussed.
I don't know. It just goes. I don't really understand the point of it, to be honest with you. Is that really killjoy and terrible of me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Well, I'm glad that you're happy. This is very you.
It's very
so
amazing.
Stephen Dixon will be on board.
I've got a boarding pass.
Oh, yeah, you do have a boarding pass. It's quite funky.
Yeah.
Well, there you
How
go.
do you know that that's going to be? So that they just have a computer, just that's on there, and they say, there you go, and
Well,
we'll taking that up there.
They tell you it's going on.
Right, OK.
Well, it will be. They won't lie about it.
But would you do it if you were asked? They actually really go on there?
On the actual mission?
Yeah. Oh.
No.
See, say now, they get your ticket. They go, oh, by the way, Mr. Dixon, good news. Hey, we've decided you can actually go up in person. And you go, actually, no, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, because space tourism is
I
going
know.
to be a thing.
You're the guy. That'd be great.
Yeah, but I mean, actually, you've got to be so incredibly fit and well-trained and all the rest of it.
You are.
It's you all over. It's you all over. It's the closest thing to a British astronaut I've ever seen.
If you've ever been to NASA and been on the shuttle simulator, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I
what they
don't think
have
I'd be
to go
great
through.
at that.
I mean, they're incredibly brave men and women.
Yeah.
So to have the right stuff. It's the right stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do it, but, you know, it'd be...
I would do it, apart from I wouldn't do that whizzy thing where you go under, you know, how many... Yeah, and you sit and I'd get really dizzy in the spinny thing.
You've got... Yeah,
Oh, you couldn't do it if you get motion sickness.
Yeah.
I get motion. But you see, I've flown with the RAF.
Have you? And what was that like?
I mean, absolutely incredible, but I mean the G-force, you have to wear one of those G-suits so it all inflates around your legs and things when you're getting the G-force to stop you passing out.
Oh.
And it's scary as anything.
Scary as
And I felt sick
Well,
for
no wonder.
About 4 days afterwards.
I did a thing with the Russian, in a Russian plane.
You two are just
And
outdoing each
did all
other
that upside-downy business. I was thinking, this is great, and then I started feeling really...
Do you feel like you're on a roller coaster?
Unwell. Yeah, times a million. Yeah, it was a bit rough.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you and me, Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, I think we're probably going to have to retire now, right?
I think so.
OK, fine.
Yeah. But incredible. It'd be incredible. I'm really looking forward to this.
Well, in that case, I feel bad for mocking your
I'm
ticket.
excited for you.
Yes.
It's very you.
Yeah.
It's very me.
Very good.
Anyway, if you fancy doing that, you just have to Google fly around the moon.
It's here, isn't it?
Fly around the moon. and you can sign.
See, I'm going to end up doing it now, aren't I?
Of course you are. Get a ticket for the missus anyway, not you.
Yeah.
You should put,
She'll get a ticket for
put
me.
all of our names and then GB News on there.
Send
on the
GB
moon.
News up there.
Send us up there.
We could do.
It's a good idea, isn't it?
Few people I'd like to
Fly me to
Let us know what you think. GBnews.com/yours today.
Right, we better crack on with President Trump, shouldn't we? Because he says he's struck a deal on Greenland following talks with the head of NATO.
However, the Secretary-General of NATO, Mark Rutte, has hit back, insisting that the sovereignty of Greenland was not actually a discussion point in their meeting. He told Fox News that protecting the Arctic region from China and Russia was the actual focus.
Well, it follows President Trump's announcement that he will no longer be imposing tariffs on Britain or other European nations.
Well, it came just hours after President Trump's Davos speech, demanding that Denmark grant the US the right to buy Greenland, while branding Denmark ungrateful.
After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now? So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about.
Well, he went on to lay out his thoughts on Europe, and he didn't hold back.
Certain places in Europe are not even recognizable, frankly, anymore. They're not recognizable. And we can argue about it, but there's no argument. Friends come back from different places. I don't want to insult anybody and say I don't recognize it. And that's not in a positive way. That's in a very negative way.
Well, we're joined now by a spokesman for Republicans Overseas UK, Errol Moorcock, who joins us live now from Washington, D.C. Morning to you, Errol. So do you think NATO allies can now breathe a sigh of relief? It seems that tariffs are off the table and a deal has been done.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the pressure that Donald Trump did right here was very traditional art of the deal. He asked for 10 times more than he ended up getting in this situation, in the sense of actually taking the territory of Greenland and making it American territory. He didn't get that, but he did get more of what he wanted. He got American sovereignty for bases, control of mineral rights, and more importantly, he reasserted, I think, the territorial controls. I think he was rebuffed pretty strongly by the EU, as well as the global markets. And right now, as he's going around kind of having a lot of wins, it looked like Greenland maybe wasn't as easy for him to take as he thought. So he's agreed to this new structure, and it is in the best interest of the United States and of Europe for the U.S. to be more involved in that region. Could it have been done more diplomatically? Sure, but everybody will breathe an easier sigh of relief now that it's all behind us, I think.
But Errol, is it a win? I mean, he's got something out of it, but he's got nothing close to what he's always said he wanted, including what he was saying he wanted in that very speech.
I agree. It's not a win in the traditional sense for Trump. He didn't get almost any of the things that he wanted, which was basically total control over Greenland, and he gave a long speech about it. So certainly, I think the pressure put on him by the international community, by his own allies, the optics of it all, I think they were able to change his mind, and I think that he's going to chalk it up as a win in terms of strategic availability. But as far as his legacy or expanding the U.S. Footprint, he did not succeed at that, and definitely that's worth noting.
Where does this whole episode leave the NATO alliance now? Where does it leave the Atlantic alliance?
I think it's stronger than ever. I think that's one thing that the Secretary General pointed out to. I mean, look at all these major countries, whether it be in Belgium or in Spain or in all these other unique areas that actually got their spending up to 2%. I don't know if Spain did, but a lot of countries did, and that was because of the pressure Donald Trump put there. Finland getting up to 5%. NATO was founded, of course, to keep a buffer on the Russians, and then that is what it needs to be doing there. You see the Arctic being a big focus. I think one of the bigger takeaways was the larger framework the United States and the EU at large is going to have in the Arctic and as well as Canada there. And I think that might be something that really puts the fear in the Russians and in the Chinese, and that is what NATO is there to do. So under Trump's leadership, despite the fact that he has pushed and prodded and found all the weaknesses in it, NATO is a stronger alliance because of that attention to detail that President Trump has brought to the international, I think, attention over the last 10 years.
Errol, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
It does seem like we're still waiting for a lot of the detail, aren't we?
Yeah.
But it looks like they're going to have some bases that they've got sovereignty over. There'll be NATO involved in it all. They're going to be able to set up the Golden Shield, as they call it, or the Golden Dome, which is sort of this missile defence system. I mean, it does sound like a win-win.
Yeah,
as far as that goes. Plus sovereignty, it would seem, of Greenland as a whole not changing. So in that sense, everybody is happy.
Yeah, and that's how President Trump hails it, doesn't he? He says it's the ultimate long-term deal that everybody gets everything they need. It sounds like it's quite a similar deal to Britain in Cyprus, doesn't it, in terms of military bases and having that lab. Anyway, let us know what you think. gbnews.com/you'll say, especially on that point about NATO. Do you think it's stronger or weaker because of this whole episode? Let us know what you think.
Now, a social media ban for under-16s has been backed by the House of Lords after mounting pressure from campaigners.
Yes, peers voted 261 to 150, a majority of 111, in support of Lord Nash's amendment to the bill in a humiliating government defeat.
It could be overturned in the Commons. In fact, Labour says it wants to overturn it in the Commons. But many Labour MPs are already backing the ban.
Yeah.
It's a bit confusing.
Well, joining us now in the studio is former political advisor Oscar Redrup. Morning to you, Oscar.
Morning.
What do you make of all of this?
It's fascinating. The wind, if you like, that was behind a social media ban has really increased, almost a little bit from nowhere. We knew Australia were doing it. They're about a month into it. And the consensus amongst all political parties pretty much in this country was let's wait and see what happens in Australia, defer. And then slowly but surely, I would say Kemi played quite a big role in this from a Conservative perspective by backing this ban, and that has translated to the Lords. And this Conservative-backed this amendment by Lord Nash in the Lords has resulted in a defeat for the government and Keir Starmer, who has been pretty untypically in many ways, pretty firm on the idea and stance that he is not in favour of a blanket ban for under-16s. And now when it goes back to the Commons after the defeat in the Lords, the feeling is, and the Labour whips would not be able to get their backbench MPs within the Labour Party to support the government's current stance. So what have the government done? They've tried to placate a little bit and say, we'll have a 3-month consultation and we'll kick it down the road. And again, that doesn't seem to be the peace offering that's working. And so what will this result unless another, I think it would be probably number 14 or 15 now from Starmer, unless another U-turn and a real shift in government tone on this policy, we would see the rebellion take place in the Commons.
Well, plus we already know people like the Health Secretary are in favour of this because they've come out and said so in a sort of pretty unprecedented way. And we know there is certainly a sense in the country that a lot of people are thinking maybe this is the road to go down. So if the government managed to overturn this and then have a consultation and then reintroduce it as a bill under their own name, I mean, that doesn't look good either, actually, does it?
No, it doesn't. I've heard some of the lines coming out on the various U-turns we've had from supporters of Keir Starmer and Labour saying, well, even if he has to wriggle and U-turn and U-turn again, but he ends up in the right place, isn't that all okay? Isn't that actually a good thing? It isn't. It is politically you're expending capital. There's that lack of leadership, authority. And as a country, and all, we wake up and we go, right, this is where the government's taking me in my life today. And then you wake up the next day and it's in exactly the opposite direction. So that this level of U-turning is not sustainable. On the issue itself, I think it's fascinating because I can completely see, and I'm sure it'd be very interesting to hear what GB News viewers think on it. But
they do seem widely supportive.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Because I think people's gut a lot of the time is I want the government to leave me alone a little bit, and if I have a family, I leave decisions like that to the family around social media usage of children. But I think the evidence and just how grimly toxic that environment can be for young people we kind of have a political consensus on this now.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the evidence, Oscar, I mean, you can see it on the front page of the Times today. 1 in 4 pupils starting school cannot use a book or can even recognise a book. So they're handed a book in school and they start trying to swipe it with their fingers like it's a tablet or a phone.
I mean, that is shocking. And look, I'm not a parent, so I might be slightly overstepping a bit. But how is someone sending their kids to school unable to recognise a book, or because I think the report says like go to the toilet or anything like that.
25% aren't toilet trained.
I think that's shocking, and I don't know how we've got to that place. But on that point, and this is that balance between family and state and family. You know, is the state responsible for that? I mean, that's an issue with parents and families. I mean, how have we allowed that to happen?
I think it's a very valid point. We're going to be debating that, actually, in the next hour. For now, Oscar, thank you very much indeed. Let us know what you think, of course.
We know you have an opinion on that one. gbnews.com/you'll say. Now, let's get a check on the weather with Aidan McGibbon.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. Another day with spells of rain across many parts of the UK. Showery, so on and off for many, but more prolonged for parts of eastern Scotland, where there is a warning running through till the end of Friday because of the risk of significant accumulation, 60 millimetres widely for eastern Scotland, 120 over the hills. There'll be some snow over the hill and mountain tops as well, increasingly so during the next couple of days as colder winds arrive. But for much of the UK, it's cloudy. We've got these outbreaks of rain on and off, heavy showers towards the south and southwest in particular. Some drier interludes, feeling unpleasant all in all as those showers set in. Very few places staying dry, although the far north of Scotland likely to be a little drier, albeit cloudy with a few light showers here and there. But it's across eastern Scotland where we do have that warning because of the risk of prolonged rain leading to flooding by the end of Friday. Heavy rain moving through Glasgow as well at this time of the day. The rain on and off further south across Scotland. Northern Ireland, England, Wales seeing showery outbreaks. Something a little drier and clearer in the south and southwest for a time before the next system moves in as we go through Thursday night and into the start of Friday. So the weather very unsettled at the moment with a lot of rain around, but the key points are that it's going to be particularly wet in the east of Scotland, that continuing into the start of Friday, and increasingly windy as we begin Friday to the south. That will keep things frost-free, of course, but an unpleasant start to the day, certainly a tricky commute across southern England and South Wales as the next band of persistent and at times heavy rain moves northwards, that pushing into the Midlands, North Wales, Northern England, Northern Ireland by the afternoon. And low pressure close to the southwest will swing further heavy downpours here with gusty winds, coastal gales as well. The rain continues in eastern Scotland, although more significant snow over the hills.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
It is very nearly 6:20 and it's time for the Daily Reflection.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hi, I'm Jordan and I'm a vicar in the Church of England. I love weddings. I especially love the dancing at the evening reception. And I remember one really good friend's wedding. They had bought lots of good wine and champagne. They went to France to get it. So much so that they had a great surplus at the end. And I had preempted this. And so me and my wife bought a bag to fill with bottles of spare wine. It was a great wedding, made even greater for the abundance of fine wine to take home with me. There's a story in the Gospel of John that we're looking at this week. Jesus is at a wedding and the wine runs out. Something awful to happen in that day, shameful in fact. Jesus ends up turning 6 jars full of water, each over 100 litres into wine. The best wine of the wedding. What abundance! This reminds me that God is abundant. He is abundantly good and kind, and His love is like the overflow of the wine jars. There is abundance in this world. And Jesus promises in the Bible, when we ask God, He gives us good things. So I wonder today if I might think about the abundance that God has.
I just want to mention a couple of views that are coming through. Stephen says, Trump uses tariffs like drawing a gun every time he wants something. Yeah, I suppose he does in a way. Jason says, I can't understand why anyone would say Trump didn't get a win. And Cezi says, the uncomfortable truth is Trump is correct. This is on the Europe issue. Parts of Europe, particularly parts of the UK, are unrecognisable.
Yeah.
So keep your thoughts coming through. gbnews.com/yoursay.
Yeah, now do stay with us still to come. Remember these scenes from a couple of weeks ago. Well, this morning it's time for farmers in Doncaster to have their turn. They're blocking another supermarket disruption centre. So we're going to be off to Doncaster next.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
How long do you reckon we've got left on the Great British Giveaway? You always know these things.
I do. It's 1 week tomorrow.
Oh, you really are across the dates.
So it is 8 days. It'll say, when we play you the little video, it'll say 2 weeks, but it's 8 days, actually.
You have to run these things by Stephen because he's across the detail.
I know. Anyway, time really is ticking on the £85,000 cash giveaway.
It's tax-free as well, so you can spend it on anything you like. Here are all of the details that you need.
There's only 2 weeks left to ensure you're in the draw to win our biggest cash prize so far. An incredible £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours.
Hi, I'm Jane from Manchester. I won £54,321 with the Great British Giveaway. It is real and it does happen to everyday people like myself. And that one text has just made my life 100% better.
But you have to hurry, as lines close on Friday the 30th of January. For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. The winner may be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 9th of February. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Welcome back. It's sports time. Paul Coyte's here with us. What have you got for us?
Champions League. I'm going to try and make sense of things, which usually is not...
It doesn't help normally.
Really easy, but we'll give it a go. Right, so these are the results from yesterday. Chelsea beat Paphos yesterday 1-0. From Cyprus, because there was a little bit of controversy, wasn't there, yesterday?
Yeah, Andrew Pearce wasn't happy with us.
He really wasn't, because we said, oh, where's Paphos? And we said Greece.
And you said yes.
Which actually could cause political problems in Cyprus as well.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they're from Cyprus. Anyway, there we are. That's the game there at Stamford Bridge. Now, what would you think if I told you Chelsea beat Paphos 1-0? What would you think? You'd think maybe they should have scored more? Maybe Paphos are minnows? Or Paphos did particularly well? What would spring to mind?
I just sort of think, well, it's an all right result.
Yeah, well,
a win's a win.
Well, there you go. That's all you can say. A win is a win, and that's what you're going to tell Chelsea fans. You've got Liam Rosenior, who's the manager there, who's, you know, not everybody has taken to him straight away, which I think is a little unfair, considering this is only his 4th game as Chelsea manager. But you know what's interesting with this, which I spotted, is that he's had 4 games in charge of Chelsea, but each one has been a different competition. So he has had League Cup, FA Cup, Premier League, and now the Champions League.
Well, you need to give
Isn't
more of a
that
chance
amazing?
then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible? Not so incredible? It's amazing. Anyway, 1-0 was not as convincing as everybody would want, but a win's a win, as you say, Ellie. So they are away now. So they're 8th. The top 8. You know, qualifying, go straight into the last 16. They are currently 8th, and so the final games, so all the final games of the Champions League at this stage are next Wednesday, and they are away to Napoli, which is not going to be easy.
Lovely pizza in Napoli.
Oh, well, that's true.
I could sing When the... No, I won't.
Yeah.
Anyway, Marseille 0, Liverpool 3. Excellent result for Liverpool, so that's very good away in the south of France. Mo Salah was back. Didn't score, but still very good, very convincing. Have we got Arne Slot? I don't know whether we've got Arne Slot now, but we'll probably hear from Arne a little bit later. They've got Karabag next, so they are in 4th place.
Carrier bag.
They're playing carrier bag. They're playing a carrier bag. Karabag from...
That should be easy.
Oh, this is going to be one of those. I believe it to be Kazakhstan, is that right? I believe it to be Kazakhstan.
We've probably got that wrong.
I don't want to make another
well.
geographical sporting error again for 2 days running. Yeah, it'd be a disaster. Because if so, Aidan will be back doing the sport tomorrow, I'll just let you know. Karabag in 4th place. So, no, Liverpool in 4th place, so they play Karabag, so they should be fine. How are we doing so far?
I've just Googled carrier bag and it actually has just...
Are you still with me?
Pictures of carrier bags.
Is it still early for this?
I'm texting Aidan.
Yes,
No, go on.
he's going to be needed. He is going to be needed. Newcastle 3, PSV Eindhoven 0.
Yeah.
Newcastle, can't argue with that. Johan Wissa, Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes scored the goals. They... For their... Bless you. For their... It's amazing. When Ellie gets bored, she sneezes uncontrollably. I don't know why this is what's going on.
You're not meant to be able to sneeze on air because of the...
Yes. Is it Ofcom? Is that a law?
No, I think you're not meant to.
OK.
Your body's not meant to let you do it, but you do.
I've never
the adrenaline's meant
sneezed
to
in
make
like
you stop
30, 40 years. I've never sneezed on air. I don't think it's
I
ever
did it
happened.
last week, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's the adrenaline that's meant to make you stop.
Is that what it is?
Obviously, we're clearly so relaxed.
OK. Parc de France,
Anyway.
they will play PSG. They play Paris Saint-Germain next week. They're in 7th place. PSG are in 8th. Are you still with me?
Oh, I went a long time ago, Paul.
My God.
Arsenal are top then, Bayern Munich are 2nd, Real Madrid 3rd, Liverpool 4th, Tottenham Hotspur in 5th, play Frankfurt away. That's enough for the Champions League for right now, OK?
That's good, yeah.
I think that went particularly well.
I
We're
lost
going
you.
to have a reset.
I lost you at Paphos.
That was the first word I said.
Yeah.
First word I said. What about Rory McIlroy? Should I try and win you over with that,
Go
or are
on
we
then,
done for now?
just quickly.
Rory McIlroy has said that he thinks Jon Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton should pay their fines when it comes to playing in Live Golf and then playing in the Ryder Cup. They played in the Ryder Cup last year. This is Tyrrell Hatton and Jon Rahm, two great golfers. So they're playing for the Saudi Arabian-backed Live Golf, right? So they're playing there. But to play in the Ryder Cup, it's a different tour. They're going to have to pay a fine. Now, it sounds like a lot. They owe £2.2 million in fines. That sounds a lot, right?
Of course, yeah.
£1 million a year. But if you look at Jon Rahm, was given £300 million just to join Live Golf. And then you've got Tyrrell Hatton was given $50 million, the $1 million just to play in the Ryder Cup. It's nothing, is it?
Yeah. Well, no. God,
Nice work if you can get it.
Exactly.
Very
so you
nice.
just pay the fine. Just pay the fine for crying out
course,
loud.
yeah.
Pay the fine, and that is what Rory suggests.
I'd give up golf if I had 300 million.
Yeah.
I think you're giving up sport after this, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Lovely.
Do you feel like you've learned something from me this morning?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Thank you, Stephen. Ellie, I will ask you questions later about what we just said.
All right. I am still trying to Google Carabag.
It's with a Q, by the way.
Oh, well, that
helps.
explains
Q-A-R-A-B-A-G. Carabag. No, you've looked up
Football
carrier
ball bags.
bag.
That's all I've got there.
Yeah, that's not.
Anyway.
I wouldn't stand a chance playing against a carrier bag.
No.
Right, it is 6:33. If you're heading to work or school this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. High winds are making the M90 Friarton Bridge tricky, so take care if you are crossing. On the M6 northbound at Junction 9 near Walsall, a crash has closed 2 of 3 lanes, with normal conditions expected after 7:15 this morning. In Cambridgeshire, a broken down vehicle is blocking 1 of 2 lanes on the A11 southbound between the A14 and the A1 304. And on the trains, Great Northern has a reduced service calling at Watton at Stone, and Great Western Railway has road transport replacing trains between Liscard and Looe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, we're going to be going live to Doncaster, where farmers are blocking another supermarket distribution centre. That's next.
I'm Michelle Dewberry, this is Jubes & Co with you.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here. GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News, anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless.
I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline.
Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
6:37 now. Farmers in Doncaster are set for another surprise blockade of supermarket distribution centres this morning.
Yes, the planned disruption follows an earlier demonstration this month, which we also covered on GB News, where loaded lorries were barred from entering or leaving the premises.
Well, across it all is our Yorkshire and Humber reporter, Anna Riley. What's going on, Anna?
Good morning, Stephen and Ellie. Well, a large number of lorries are now backing up at this little distribution centre here in Doncaster. No lorries coming into the distribution centre or leaving. And that's because we've got this blockade of tractors behind us here that are stopping this. I'm joined by Sue Flower. She's a dairy farmer. Sue, just tell us what this blockade's all about today.
We are fed up of being shafted. We need some support from the supply chain, and we're appealing to the retailer to come and be that support and represent us as primary producers.
And how do you think they can do that, in particular as well with milk prices?
Well, the first thing is to start some dialogue, which has been lacking in the supply chain. The retailer and the processor have retained their margin and all the pressure has been put on the farm, and we've had 8p off our milk price, which equates to about 30,000 a month, which is a big difference because we're usually on break even or a little margin, but not that big a margin on an annual basis. So it's not there for us. It doesn't make us sustainable.
And it's this distribution centre that's been blocked, also a little one in Peterborough, a little one in Luton today as well. What are you hoping to get out of this? You know, do you think supermarkets will listen, and what message do you want to get to the public?
The message to the public is thank you for your support. Food security in Britain is crucial for national security. And I think a lot of people realise that. We get a lot of support from the general public, and we're eternally thankful for that. But the retailers need to come and start talking to us. We are left out in the cold. As individual farmers, we don't have a voice at the government table. And retailers have their big corporations, and they can sit at the table with the government, and they need to be that voice between them and us.
And in supermarkets as well, you're wanting better labelling, aren't you, as well?
Yes, it needs to be very clear. Point of origin. And imports need to be imported at the standard that we have to attain in the UK.
And there was a U-turn on inheritance tax, but, you know, you're still wanting it completely scrapped, aren't you?
Yes, not just for farming, for all people in all walks of life. This death tax, it needs scrapping totally. And we don't want to leave any farmers behind, and still some farmers will be hit very hard with the inheritance tax as it is today.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you for speaking to us here on GB News, and GB News as well being exclusively invited by the farmers this morning to cover this blockade. We'll be speaking to several more farmers throughout this morning.
Stuff, Anna. Thanks very much indeed. And it's really important to hear those voices.
Yeah, it is. And we will stay with the farmers on GB News. Thank you, Anna, for bringing that to us. And Michael's just been in touch saying, I'm with the farmers on this. I think it's hard not for anyone not to be behind the farmers on this. They put the food on our table.
This is the thing, I think, which is what we've forgotten over the years, haven't we, somehow? Anyway, if you want to get in touch, we would love to hear from you. Become a friend of GB News, which is absolutely free, and then you can message us. And that actually, you could win one of 50,000 GB News bumper stickers. They're exclusive. Have a look at this.
Becoming a friend of GB News is free. It lets you have your say and be part of our shows every day on TV and radio. Plus, if you sign up by January 31st, you could win one of 50,000 limited edition GB News bumper stickers. To become a friend and for your chance to win, go to gbnews.com/bumper sticker now or scan the QR code on screen. 18 plus UK only. Full T&Cs at gbnews.com/terms of use.
Now, have you ever wanted to go to space? I know you have.
Yes.
But have you? Well, now you can send your name there. We're going to get much more on that with AJ Pritchard and Charlotte Griffiths in the papers next.
First, so, here's the European forecast.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Much of Europe at the moment looking as unsettled as the UK. Spells of heavy rain for Greece, windy in Iberia, and those strong winds also containing cold air. So they're going to bring showers and longer spells of rain to Portugal in particular during Friday, with some hill and mountain snow as a consequence. Rain easing off for a time across Italy, but further spells of wet weather expected into the weekend, and we've got a lot of showers, heavy downpours throughout much of Greece. Fresh snow, though, for the Alps.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Sunday with Michael Portillo from 11, only on GB News.
Yeah, that tea party taking place a little bit later on today. But before all of that, we are here on Pooh Bridge for an extra special game of Pooh Sticks. I've got some sticks here from the 100-acre wood that we're going to be using. There's a whole host of people here who have wanted to play Pooh Sticks with me. Lily and Anya have also been collecting sticks today. They're a big fan of Winnie the Pooh. Anya, what's Lily's favourite character?
It is Winnie the Pooh.
And what is it about Winnie the Pooh that's so popular, not only from people like you growing up, but also Lily now?
Well, we love all the stories and how there is a message from each of the stories as well. We read them every night. And what do you love about Winnie the Pooh as well? Honey, don't you? The little honey pots.
Amazing. Well, you get your sticks ready. Pooh Sticks. We've also got a running group who have come here especially today to mark 100 years of Winnie the Pooh from Haywards Heath. They have all come prepared with their sticks. Some have even brought sticks from home. Sticks are at the ready. You've brought your sticks from home. What's your technique?
Well, mine are actually probably quite wet, which I've heard is not a good thing. I think they need to be a bit drier.
In 3, 2, 1, go. Right, the sticks are in the water, but who is going to win here at Pooh Sticks Bridge? Oh, it wasn't me. There's the first stick to come through. Whose was that? Becky, you are the winner. Congratulations of Pooh Sticks on Pooh Sticks Bridge. But this is just the first round. They've got a whole clipboard here. There's 30 of them come for a whole tournament here today to play Pooh Sticks on what is Winnie the Pooh Day, marking 100 years since Winnie the Pooh was first published back in Christmas Eve of 1925. And this, of course, Winnie the Pooh Day being marked today on the birthday of A.A. Milne.
GB News, the People's Channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
6:46, time for the papers this morning with professional dancer and broadcaster AJ Pritchard and editor-at-large for the Mail on Sunday, Charlotte Griffiths. Good to see you both this morning. AJ, let's start with the Mail, should we? And Donald Trump, who's struck a deal for my big, beautiful piece of ice.
Yes, Donald Trump last night dropped his threats that he was going to invade Greenland following a furious bust-up with Britain and NATO. But I think it's really important. He talks about how he's got the ultimate long-term deal here, based on a very productive meeting that he had with the Secretary of the General of NATO. And I think talking about the framework, setting out what that framework could look like. There's obviously been talks about the opportunity to give £1 million to each person, well, $1 million, so £750,000 to each person to actually secure Greenland. And the talks, I do like how he talks about tariffs and it brings people to the table and it opens up the conversation again. But really, do we really know where this is actually going to go? I think that's the kind of thing with people. And it's
the devil
pride,
is in the detail, isn't it?
It's everybody's saying, well, this would be great, but as a country, money is one thing, but the pride of actually it means so much to a lot of people.
I mean, the thing is, all this, we're told a deal has been done, but we don't know anything about the deal in real terms.
Yeah.
And the only sort of thing we do seem to know is that sovereignty wasn't mentioned.
I know. I mean, also, by the way, you said the devil was in the detail. I just have to circle back to that quickly because he kept calling it Iceland, which is just terrifying.
Yes. But then Caroline Levitt, because he was criticised for that, but then Caroline Levitt, who's the White House press secretary, said no, he literally means the chunk of ice because it is a land of ice. She was saying that was
because
deliberate
he always refers to it as the big, beautiful ice. Beautiful
ice. Yes, because people were saying you're getting confused with your countries, and she said no, it was intentional.
Like those Americans who thought they were buying Tower Bridge when they bought London Bridge.
Yes, exactly that. That's what I was thinking of. But as you said about the sovereignty, a lot of people are saying that actually the deal he has struck is the deal he sort of had anyway, which is the ability to use military bases, create new military bases, have a US presence in Greenland. He had that anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll be interesting to see the details when it comes out, actually, and see what's new, really.
It's how he's actually growing his empire. I think that's what's kind of really amazing in this kind of modern day. You kind of think people are actually giving things back to people, whereas actually he's like, no, I'm going to try and grow the empire in this modern day.
It was interesting talking to Errol Moorcock at the top of this hour. He's a spokesperson for Republicans overseas. And we were asking him if NATO is stronger or weaker after this whole episode with President Trump. He was saying actually stronger because the threat of tariffs, the threat of invading Greenland has actually made everybody think about defence.
Yeah.
It brought all the countries together. And it might actually be for the best of NATO. What do you think of that?
It could be. I quite like that take. It's almost like he rattles our chain and he makes us all pull our socks up. And Europe did have to come together. And we do have to be considered as a sort of bloc because you've got China and you've got the US and you've got Russia. And then you had Europe kind of not really aligned all over the shop. So maybe what he's trying to do is getting us to sort of really become a bloc, really, and look after our defences and invest in our defences.
It's an interesting tactic. And I know, obviously, everyone's going to walk away and say, well, Trump's got he's achieved what he really wanted and all of this. But I wonder if he looked slightly weaker to me because he said he was going to get it come hell or high water. He wanted to own Greenland, all these things which he has actually not got.
Yeah, and now they're calling him Taco. Trump always chickens out. And I hadn't heard Taco before this whole Greenland debacle, so that's quite obviously very disparaging comment about him, a label that's now attached to him going forward. So it does make him look weaker. And the whole thing, I felt, was a bit of a farce. I get what he does when he aims high and then he meets in the middle. But I thought this one, he didn't pull it off. It was all a bit chaotic. He certainly set the hairs running, which maybe if that was his intention, at least he achieved that. I actually thought his Davos rambling was quite weak, actually, for Trump. You know, he didn't seem certain about what he was doing.
I think it would be such a negative thing to think, oh, I'm going to use an army to go take an island. And actually, at a situation like Davos, with the people that are in that room, it's like, well, actually, let's calm down and realise, no, this is a deal. This is going to be positive for everybody. He doesn't want to be Trump 1.0 when it seems like he just says things and then there's no possibility of that happening. This can actually happen.
Davos is such a serious conference as well. I've been a few times. I mean, you get there and you realise, OK, these are not just, you know, toy soldiers that you can kind of mess around with on your board game, Trump. These are actually, this is a very serious operation. These people are serious people, albeit Macron wearing his aviators slightly less serious.
Yeah.
And I just wonder whether he got a bit of a shock to the system when he realised, you know, maybe he'd gone too far.
Maybe. Charlotte, my favourite headline today is The Sun, actually, front page of The Sun. Bake Off judge, Nigella's a shoe in.
Yeah,
and shoe is like shoe pastry.
It's a
very
good pun, good old Sun. I am so ready for Nigella Lawson's comeback.
I think that's a great idea.
I know she technically never went away. She's got her cookery show on the BBC. But I think she's going to have a second wave. I think she's going to do a Lily Allen. She's going to be back. And we're going to absolutely eat her up on the Bake Off because she's so fabulous. She's so sensual and sexy and alluring on camera. It's going to be great fun. And no offence to Prue Leith, who is all of those things as well. But she did say herself, I'm just being very flattering, she did say herself, look, I'm 86 now. It's time.
She's 86?
Yes.
She looks great, doesn't she?
Oh, I would never have guessed that.
But it's also a show that's laden with innuendo, isn't it? So I think Nigella's a really good fit.
Yeah.
It'll be very, very good.
Her latest Christmas show, the innuendo was out of control. It was like they'd taken it up to 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Have you ever done Bake Off?
No, I did MasterChef, and that gave me enough stress in the kitchen, but Bake Off, I think, would be even more stressful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I couldn't take the pressure.
There's such a science to baking as well, isn't there? It's really, really difficult.
At it. But I love watching it.
It's like anxiety, I feel like.
Yeah, it's good to watch. I think it'll be great.
Let's just finish off with a little bit of Artemis. You like your spacey stuff, don't you, AJ?
Yeah, no, with the space, this is an amazing opportunity for people to actually get their name into space. So what is actually happening, which I've just done this morning, you can go onto the NASA website, enter your name, you put a little code and you get a souvenir ticket that you can download and use afterwards. And fundamentally, the space station and the actual space crew will be flying out very soon on the Orion spacecraft, and that'll be going over and around the moon for 10 days, and this is probably one of the most important missions they've had, supporting navigation, communication, living. They're testing quite a lot of things. But your name gets to go to space.
And trust you to have actually logged onto the website.
I did this morning. I've got my ticket.
You're such a space nerd. I love it.
Stephen's done exactly the same thing, haven't you?
Yes, I've got
so you can
tickets
both
for the
go together.
entire family.
Have you?
We booked the whole family on board, so I'll see you there. It'd be great. I think it's just a really lovely thing to do.
You can be all on the moon together.
Yeah.
It's a nice idea, especially if you love your space stuff.
Yeah, I think
it's a cool gift.
I think it's all good.
Yeah.
Right, you two, we shall see you a little bit later on.
Okay.
Look forward to that. In the meantime, should we see what the weather's going to do? Because I'm fed up of it being miserable.
I think it's going to rain for the foreseeable, but Aidan McGibbon's got the details.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. Another day with spells of rain across many parts of the UK. Showery, so on and off for many, but more prolonged for parts of eastern Scotland, where there is a warning running through till the end of Friday because of the risk of significant accumulation, 60 millimetres widely for eastern Scotland, 120 over the hills. There'll be some snow over the hill and mountain tops as well, increasingly so during the next couple of days as colder winds arrive. But for much of the UK, it's cloudy. We've got these outbreaks of rain on and off, heavy showers towards the south and southwest in particular. Some drier interludes, feeling unpleasant all in all as those showers set in. Very few places staying dry, although the far north of Scotland likely to be a little drier, albeit cloudy with a few light showers here and there. But it's across eastern Scotland where we do have that warning because of the risk of prolonged rain leading to flooding by the end of Friday. Heavy rain moving through Glasgow as well at this time of the day. The rain on and off further south across Scotland. Northern Ireland, England, Wales seeing showery outbreaks. Something a little drier and clearer in the south and southwest for a time before the next system moves in as we go through Thursday night and into the start of Friday. So the weather very unsettled at the moment with a lot of rain around, but the key points are that it's going to be particularly wet in the east of Scotland, that continuing into the start of Friday, and increasingly windy as we begin Friday to the south. That will keep things frost-free, of course, but an unpleasant start to the day, certainly a tricky commute across southern England and South Wales as the next band of persistent and at times heavy rain moves northwards, that pushing into the Midlands, North Wales, Northern England, Northern Ireland by the afternoon. And low pressure close to the southwest will swing further heavy downpours here with gusty winds, coastal gales as well. The rain continues in eastern Scotland, although more significant snow over the hills.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you for making us Britain's #1 news channel. Together, we have built something truly extraordinary.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Take extra care on the M90 Friarton Bridge, where high winds are affecting driving conditions. In the West Midlands, there is a crash on the M6 northbound at Junction 9, with 2 of 3 lanes closed and delays of around 30 minutes. Conditions should improve after 7:30. In Oxfordshire, a broken-down vehicle is blocking 1 of 2 lanes on the A34 southbound between the A423 and the A415, expected to clear just after 7:08 this morning. And on the trains, Great Western Railway has replacement road transport between Liskeard and Looe, and Great Northern has no northbound trains at Watton at Stone. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
An incredible £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours.
Hi, I'm Jane. I won £54,321 with the Great British Giveaway. Oh, definitely please enter. It is real, and that one text has just made my life 100% better.
For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Good morning. President Trump announces he will not be imposing tariffs on Britain or other European nations.
The US president has hailed talks with NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte as very productive and claims that a deal on Greenland is done.
However, in an interview last night, the NATO chief said the issue of whether Greenland remains with Denmark didn't come up.
So, is this the last we're going to see of tensions over the territory?
Not all plain sailing in Davos, though. I don't think the last bit was plain sailing, really. But the US president took aim at the state of European nations.
Perhaps how you two and the places where you come from can do much better by following what we're doing, because certain places in Europe are not even recognizable, frankly, anymore. They're not recognizable.
Well, President Trump will be returning to the stage a little later this morning, which no doubt will bring more fireworks.
He's also meeting President Zelensky today as he describes a deal on the war in Ukraine as being reasonably close.
Elsewhere today, the House of Lords has backed a move to ban under-16s from social media platforms.
A tearful Prince Harry gives evidence in his case against the publishers of the Daily Mail, telling the court the press made Meghan's life a misery.
After months of mounting pressure, British farmers are taking direct action against a broken supply chain, threatening the future of British food production.
Farmers are here at the Lidl distribution centre in Doncaster, where they've created a blockade with their tractors stopping lorries coming in and out of the distribution centre. And there's also similar protests that have been held this morning in Peterborough and Luton.
British Army veterans could face prosecution for their conduct during the Troubles after MPs voted to remove protections in the controversial Legacy Act.
A school readiness crisis, as 1 in 4 children starting reception last year were not toilet trained. So we're asking this morning if it's becoming teachers' responsibility to raise children as well as teach them.
And sport this morning, another good night in the Champions League. Wins for Liverpool, Newcastle and Chelsea, which keeps them all in the important top 8 with 1 game to go next week. Manchester City, the players actually will refund fans that travel to the Arctic Circle to see them lose at Bodo Glimt. And in the Australian Open, 38-year-old Novak Djokovic powers into the 4th round.
I'm sure you don't need me to tell you it is an unpleasant start to the day. Spells of rain or showers for many of us, gusty and strong winds in places. Rain warnings for eastern Scotland. I'll have the full gory details in the weather forecast coming up soon.
Indeed. Just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast. So, you know that we have an obesity crisis in this country, right?
Yes.
It's not just humans, it's the dogs as well. The dogs are getting fat.
I'm not surprised.
And do you know who's to blame?
Us.
I know, owners, yeah.
Do you know what we're feeding them?
Well, who else is it going to be? It's not going to be the dogs, is it?
Well, not only food. British people are feeding their dogs fish and chips and ice cream. And it's leading to an obesity crisis. Apparently, 48% of dogs are overweight, 6% are obese, 23% of Brits admit to giving their dogs fish and chips, and 10% say they've given them ice cream.
Yeah, but not every day.
We had a dog sitter that Dudley used to go to.
Oh.
And sometimes he would go there for a couple of days and come back even bigger. And she felt sorry, so whatever she'd have, like cottage pie or whatever, would give the dog a portion and a bit of ice cream. It's like, the thing is, if you love your dog, you think, oh, but you can't do it.
You can't put the dog on a diet. It feels really cruel.
And they say it's like 5 or 6 times stronger if you have something, or so many But you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying is that if you give human food to a dog, you shouldn't do it. But
you shouldn't do it. No,
but when you see the eyes, don't you see the eyes?
But they never want to eat their own food. They just want to eat yours.
What do you give Rex? Your dinner?
No. He can... No.
So say, what about you're having a piece of toast and Rex looks up with those lovely eyes and... I'm trying to do it.
If you have a pizza or something, he'll have a few bits
there
of
you go.
the pizza, but only like a few little bits.
Little bits.
So with the cat.
Yeah.
Apparently, and this is my favourite part of the story, 28% of owners, because they feel cruel putting their dog on a diet, but if there was a dog version of Ozempic or a fat loss jab, they would inject their dog.
Really?
In order to make them lose weight, yeah.
Yeah, well, just read this. I love the fact that this is a survey done by a dog food company.
It always is, isn't it?
It's a dog food company who actually we have used, and the dog wouldn't touch it.
Oh, really?
On here, we bought about 40 quid's worth of this food, put it all in the freezer, and got it out, and he will not touch it.
Isn't it funny how they get so fussy?
And that's why they're all eating fish and chips.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry, company involved. But
anyway.
Dog didn't like it.
Would you eat a piece of dog food for cash?
I'm a vegetarian, so no.
OK, well, if there's vegetarian dog food, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah, there's got to be. What about you,
I
Ellie?
know people do eat dog food and cat food because they are tested by humans.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it is.
So, Ellie, if someone said to you, there you go, there's a big load of kit, would you have a little bit of dog food?
No.
No?
Oh, no.
£100 I'll give you right
Not
now.
for £100.
For a tin of pedigree chum. What do you say?
For a tin? I thought you said a bite. No.
So I'll put some kibbles on there as well for you to spice it up.
No, dog food tasters. Yeah, it's an actual job. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you reckon they get paid really well?
Probably not.
No.
Dog food.
Yeah. Well, I know, but, you know, there's got to be some upside to the job.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we look at some news? I don't know how we got on to
It's my fault, sorry.
humans eating dog food, but
Sorry.
very good.
There you go.
I will Google that. We will find out.
Oh, we will.
Anyway, let us know what you think. GBnews.com/you'll say.
Right, President Trump says he's struck a deal on Greenland following talks with the boss of NATO.
Although the Secretary-General of NATO, Mark Rutte, has hit back. He insists the sovereignty of Greenland was not actually a discussion point in their meeting. He told Fox News that protecting the Arctic region from China and Russia was the actual focus.
Yeah, well, which makes sense. It follows President Trump's announcement he will no longer be imposing tariffs on Britain or any other European nation.
Well, it comes just hours after his Davos speech demanding Denmark grant the US the right to buy Greenland while branding Denmark ungrateful.
After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now? So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about.
Well, he went on to lay out his thoughts on Europe, and he didn't hold back.
Certain places in Europe are not even recognizable, frankly, anymore. They're not recognizable. And we can argue about it, but there's no argument. Friends come back from different places. I don't want to insult anybody and say I don't recognize it. And that's not in a positive way. That's in a very negative way.
Let's talk to former political advisor Oscar Redrop, who's here. Lots to talk to you about this morning, Oscar. But on this, is this a win for NATO? Is it a win for the likes of Keir Starmer standing up to what was being threatened? Or is this just part of the Trump strategy?
Analysing Donald Trump, I mean, it's exhausting. And I've fallen into the trap myself of watching MPs, political commentators, pundits, whatever, columnists trying to predict the man. Just give up, everyone. His speech yesterday almost felt entirely, it was bombastic, it was random, it was poignant, it was hilarious, it was scary, it was calming. It's just, you know, it is impossible to tell. So I think, all in all, I feel like some kind of score draw is where we're at. Actually, with this, the devil will obviously be in the detail in terms of this agreement as such, although it's interesting that from the NATO side has been kind of quashed slightly, but that hinting that they did talk about, you know, the threat of China and Russia in the area, and so that feels like it's got to a point where America will have an increased presence and influence. I feel like that was already possible without all this kind of chest beating.
But not, I mean, the thing is, that's not a bad thing. No one's going to turn around and say, oh, what is a strategically important piece of land and waterway. You know, having a bigger American presence is not a bad thing. It was the sovereignty issue that was a problem.
It's a really, really good thing. Sovereignty would be an issue, and that's obviously why allies talked pretty tough back at Trump for the first time, I would say, actually. certainly during his new term, his latest term as president, and also the tariffs. I think everyone was absolutely right to kind of absolutely, kind of flat bat that away. But yeah, an increased American presence in that part of the world, is that a bad thing? Absolutely not from a Western perspective. I mean, it was the other thing that I think, if we just, and I know it's the headline grabbers, if we just move away from Greenland just for a second, what was more interesting, I think, in many ways, is just how politics informed by Trump has changed so much. And it's that, countries acting in their own interest, being bold enough to have really strong borders, having economics that is not informed by a global structure, but by the people and the workers of that country. And defence, again, being strong on defence independently, rather than relying on this kind of flabby, grey world. And I have to say, whatever your thoughts on Trump, like, that stuff hits pretty hard and pretty well. And I think that is something that he is absolutely. He feels that EU countries, including the UK, have been so weak on for so long. And it was interesting watching his. It was one of, I can't remember on the top of my head now, but it was one of his secretaries of state, a business secretary of state, on stage with Rachel Reeves yesterday. And people may have missed this, but that was fascinating, that standoff, if you like. He was kind of running, unfortunately, slightly running rings around her, where he's saying, things like net zero, climate policy, where we've abandoned our workers, and we're a country that doesn't even make batteries, and yet we sign up to these pledges that on the environment that countries like China will absolutely kind of supersede us on and undercut us. And so that change now, I think it's in some ways the most influential Davos that has been in quite some time, because so many huge prominent players are going over to Davos, including Farage, and are actually they're turning up and they're rubbishing it. They're kind of saying, we don't need you guys anymore. And I think that's a really interesting political development. And, we'll see what comes of it.
We will. Let's touch on politics at home, shall we? Because the Lords have backed this UK social media ban for under 16s. What do you make of this? Because there's a lot of backbenchers in the Labour Party who are also in favour of this.
Well, unless Keir Starmer and Number 10 make their 14th U-turn, it feels like, because of what happened in the Lords yesterday and the rebellion, if you like, in the Lords, stemming from an amendment from Lord Nash, that rebellion would happen in the Commons, and the Labour whips are not at all confident that they would be able to bring those backbench Labour MPs on side, align with the current stance of Keir Starmer. So he's going to have to U-turn again, it feels like. And this is the point where Keir Starmer's at. He can't, and I think I said this last week, on what was going to happen in terms of digital IDs. He can't face difficult votes at the moment, despite his huge majority. His capital, as it is amongst his own party, is so low at the moment. He can't face difficult votes.
But also, I mean, he's really stuck between a rock and a hard place on this, because there does seem to be, from our reading of it, and look, maybe we're wrong, but this idea that there is a general consensus that a lot of people at least would like to try a social media ban for under 16s to see what impact it has. The Lords are for it. Tories, Kemi Badenoch's really pushing it. His backbenchers seem to be for it. And now they're turning around saying, we're not going to let this through the Commons. Whatever the Lords put through, we're going to block it, which seems to be very counterintuitive. So it's either U-turn and he's criticised, or goes ahead with a block and he's criticised.
Yeah, and that's very, very well explained, and that is so many times that rock and a hard place is where Keir Starmer finds himself. And that, I would suggest, as a leader, as a Prime Minister, you tend to only find yourself in a rock and a hard place when you are not taking proactive leadership, where you're trying to kind of walk a tightrope the entire time. If you have the strength of personality and will and conviction to say, this is the direction we're heading in, you often avoid that rock and a hard place. And that's why it always, this is number 14 now, that's why it always comes back to these U-turns.
OK. Oscar, been really good to see you this morning. Thank you very much.
Now, coming up to 7:15, farmers in Doncaster are set for another surprise blockade of supermarket distribution centres this morning.
Well, the planned disruption follows an earlier demonstration this month, where, of course, GB News was as well. It's where loaded lorries were barred from entering or leaving the premises.
Let's talk to our Yorkshire and Humber reporter, Anna Riley, who's been invited along exclusively for this. What are people telling you, Anna?
Good morning, Stephen and Ellie. Well, yes, the lorries have certainly backed up here. I'd say there's around 50 or 60 either queuing to come into this distribution centre here at Lidl in Doncaster and trying to get out as well. And people here, well, the farmers, they're certainly passionate. We've got signs here, support farmers, not Starmer. Here you can see one of them. And let's hear from a farmer himself. This is Ian Lomas. Ian, you're a dairy farmer. Just tell us why you've turned out to do this blockade today.
It's out of frustration, really. Farming seems to be attacked from every angle at the moment. Government, pricing. For me personally, it's a dairy pricing, milk price is horrendous.
Yeah, just tell us about that. So what do you actually get at the end?
Well, since I think October, our milk price started to go down. And for February, we'll lose roughly 14 pence a litre. It probably doesn't sound a lot if it's said like that, but considering we send around 1 million litres a year, that's going to equate back to about £10,500 a month. We don't make £10,500 a month, so that's got to come from somewhere.
And you're a fairly small herd, small family business, a herd of 150. But what are the pressures on you and what is it like mentally and physically?
It's really tough. It's really tough because all we're trying to do is feed the nation, keep the family business going, hopefully pass it on to the next generation, but everything's stacked against us.
You feel it's just tax after tax after tax?
Yeah, it's all taxed and then brings you on to the inheritance tax, which in my mind is wrong for everyone, not just farmers. There shouldn't be an inheritance tax. We're taxed all the way through life on everything we do, and any businesses that are trying to get going or keep going are going to generate revenue and income tax and all the taxes for the government anyway. So why penalise them?
And how much support do you think there is for the farmers? I mean, some Lidl staff here have brought out biscuits and water for you, but what about them and the public as well?
Public support has been fantastic. We can't thank them enough, but we just need that to translate into pressure on the government and to supermarkets and other buyers to give us a fair deal.
Thank you so much, Ian. Thank you for joining us here on GB News, and the farmers as well, having us exclusively here to cover this blockade, and we'll be speaking to more farmers throughout the morning, Stephen and Ellie.
OK, Anna, thank you so much for bringing that to us. And so nice as well to hear the support that the farmers are getting there. Got people from Lidl coming out and giving them biscuits and water. And then the public as well, tooting their horn in support.
I bet the people working there have got as much sympathy, but everyone's got their job to do. But there is a lot of sympathy.
Yeah.
No two words about it.
Yeah, there is. Anyway, let us know what you think on that one. gbnews.com/your say. Should we get a check on the weather? Because it looked cold in Doncaster, didn't it?
It did, all wrapped up there. Are you going to have to get wrapped up? Here's Aidan.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. Another day with spells of rain across many parts of the UK. Showery, so on and off for many, but more prolonged for parts of eastern Scotland, where there is a warning running through till the end of Friday because of the risk of significant accumulation, 60 millimetres widely for eastern Scotland, 120 over the hills. There'll be some snow over the hill and mountain tops as well, increasingly so during the next couple of days as colder winds arrive. But for much of the UK, it's cloudy. We've got these outbreaks of rain on and off, heavy showers towards the south and southwest in particular. Some drier interludes, feeling unpleasant all in all as those showers set in. Very few places staying dry, although the far north of Scotland likely to be a little drier, albeit cloudy with a few light showers here and there. But it's across eastern Scotland where we do have that warning because of the risk of prolonged rain leading to flooding by the end of Friday. Heavy rain moving through Glasgow as well at this time of the day. The rain on and off further south across Scotland. Northern Ireland, England, Wales seeing showery outbreaks. Something a little drier and clearer in the south and southwest for a time before the next system moves in as we go through Thursday night and into the start of Friday. So the weather very unsettled at the moment with a lot of rain around, but the key points are that it's going to be particularly wet in the east of Scotland, that continuing into the start of Friday, and increasingly windy as we begin Friday to the south. That will keep things frost-free, of course, but an unpleasant start to the day, certainly a tricky commute across southern England and South Wales as the next band of persistent and at times heavy rain moves northwards, that pushing into the Midlands, North Wales, Northern England, Northern Ireland by the afternoon. And low pressure close to the southwest will swing further heavy downpours here with gusty winds, coastal gales as well. The rain continues in eastern Scotland, although more significant snow over the hills.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Lots of you getting in touch this morning on Trump. Jackie says, I'm praying that he's now going to ramp up the pressure and stop this ridiculous Chagos deal.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Chagos now. Because don't forget, I mean, this is what, no doubt the Prime Minister's tearing his hair out, because the Oval Office did sort of approve the deal ages ago.
Last year, yeah.
And now they've sort of said it's stupid, which I think most people in this country tend to agree with.
Yeah.
So whether it's going to have any impact or not, I don't know.
But it's a problem for Sir Keir Starmer as well, because he was talking about self-determination being really important when it comes to Greenland, but then people were pointing out, well, the Chagosians didn't get a say over Chagos, so how can you use that argument in Greenland and it doesn't apply to Chagos?
Don't know. Not everyone agrees with Trump, though. Someone calling themselves Common Sense says Trump has proved politicians who've never had a real job or business should not be allowed to run a country. Business leaders should be advisors.
OK, we'll keep those views coming in. gbnews.com/you'll say.
Right, time is ticking on. You've got just over a week, actually, a week tomorrow, if you want to win £85,000 in our biggest cash giveaway.
Yes, tax-free as well, so you can spend it on anything you like. Here are all of the details that you need.
There's only 2 weeks left to ensure you're in the draw to win our biggest cash prize so far. An incredible £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours.
Hi, I'm Jane from Manchester. I won £54,321 with the Great British Giveaway. It is real and it does happen to everyday people like myself. And that one text has just made my life 100% better.
But you have to hurry, as lines close on Friday the 30th of January. For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. The winner may be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 9th of February. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck.
Yes. Oh, no, go on then.
There you go.
Still to come. There is growing concern over children's readiness for school. This is really serious, actually.
It is, yeah.
1 in 4 children starting reception aren't toilet trained. A whole loads don't know how to read a book, don't really know what a book is. So we're asking next, whose responsibility is it? Is it down to teachers? Or really, should it be down to the parents? We'll debate that next.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock, only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Now, added worries at the school gates this morning as new figures suggest a growing school readiness crisis. 1 in 4 children are starting reception not toilet trained, can you believe?
I mean, heck. Teachers say they're losing valuable classroom time, helping with basic life skills and things like not even understanding what a book is or how to use a book. I'm not saying they should be able to read, but, you know, they should understand how, how to turn a page. Anyway, most parents remain confident, apparently, that their child is ready for school.
Yes, this morning we're asking who is responsible for all of this. Is it the teachers? Or is it the parents?
Let's talk to the head at the LVS Ascot School, Christine Cunliffe, and parenting expert, Kalini Kent. Let's start with you, Kalini, on all of this. This is a parent's responsibility, isn't it?
It is partly a parent's responsibility, but what I would say is we have got to look at what's in the best interest of children. And at the end of the day, there are 4.5 million children nowadays who are living in poverty. And you've got basically children who, 3.3 million also, who don't have the best start in life because they've not got the basic education. They're already starting on the back foot. Yes, it is the parents' responsibility. However, the schools can assist because the children at school, the majority of their waking day, and there are opportunities for them to learn those basic life skills in that educational setting.
Sorry, I mean, just to clarify though, Kalina, you're saying then that under some circumstances, teachers should be toilet training children?
I would say toilet training is going further than they should do. However, if at the end of the day you see a child that's struggling, you cannot just leave them to flounder. So I think it needs to be more support financially for schools to give the support that the teachers need so that they can actually give those children the best start in life, because they're starting from a backward situation. And there's been research done, the Action for Children research, which was done for 7,000 teachers. Yes, they are struggling to cope, but at the same time, the children are struggling and they're coming into school, as you've just pointed out, with those negative situations in front of them. So we've got to do what we can to support those children. And if school is a situation where we saw during COVID, didn't we? Domestic violence went up, children were neglected, school was their refuge. So very often the school setting is the best one in where we can teach the children what it is they need to get those basic life skills to thrive, because it's about helping families to thrive, not just survive. It's not about them just, it's not just, I think education is also educating them for those life skills to help them going through their life.
Christine, it does sound as though there's this expectation now that teachers do so much more than just teach.
Yes, 100%. And look, I totally get it. I know there's some children in this country that really do have a bad start in life. But I think if we're waiting until the age of 4 or 5 to be able to address this, then we're missing a trick here, because all this stuff should be done before we go to school. Now, if that means ploughing the money into preschool education and nurseries and teaching assistants to be able to help the children with these skills, that's where the money should be spent, not when they come to school. Because once they're in school, we have to make almost rapid progress with these children. The teachers don't have time, and it's not fair on the children to put them in a classroom situation where these accidents are happening. Now, yet we would never let a child flounder. We wouldn't do it, but we shouldn't be in that position. When I was younger, and I know it was different, and I didn't have a poor background, well, not on the scale we're talking, but it was a pride thing. We wanted our children to be toilet trained in good time, so they felt good about it too, about the child, because not being toilet trained, going into school, cannot be doing that child any psychological safety or happiness.
I mean, that's a fair point, Cleanie, isn't it? I mean, rather than saying, well, let's allow the teachers to do it, which almost gives a bit of a green card to some parents who can't be bothered, I would suggest. But actually, it's about intervention much, much earlier.
Absolutely, I totally agree. The parents should be trying to teach their children much earlier, because these are their formative years where they're like blotting paper, learning those skills. But at the same time, if you've got a child arriving at school who haven't had that best start in life, the parents either don't have the skills, they don't have the knowledge, and let's face it, parents are, some of them facing burnout because both of them are having to work, they're not getting the time. I'm not saying it should be all the school's responsibility, but there should be funding to support teachers to assist in this, so that those children can actually then get the learning that they need. Because yes, education is not just, I personally don't think education is just about the reading, the writing, the science, etc. It's also about learning how to thrive in life and how to actually get on. And I think if the teachers can support that, it's a collaborative approach that we need to actually make sure that the children thrive.
Christine, are we forgetting parental responsibility here? I mean, I'm thinking about my grandparents who didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, but they would have toilet trained their children. They would read to their children. They would take their children to the library and get books out for free and read to them. Is poverty an excuse? Is poverty a reason why you're seeing children coming to school that aren't toilet trained?
No, poverty is not an excuse, and there are fundamental things here. A couple of weeks ago, I was in the supermarket and I overheard a mother talking to a young child. And this child, in my opinion, wasn't really misbehaving. It was just being a young child. And it was threatened with the spooky monster, the scary monster's going to visit you, and I can't protect you from that when you get home. Now, I did all I could to just change aisles and just bite my lip, because I'm not going to be that past middle-aged woman who tells everybody what to do. But things like in the supermarket, talk to your children about the colours, look at the products, look at the maths behind it, talk to them, engage them. Then you won't have any kind of behaviour issues unless there are other behaviour issues going on. Engage with children, Talk to them, sing to them, read books. It doesn't cost money. Go in the garden, look at the trees, look at the flowers, look at the grass. Be with your child, nurture, love, and give them those years before they start school, because otherwise we're losing 4 to 5 informative years of crucial development there, and that's shocking and shameful.
All right, you two, got to leave it there. Thank you both very much indeed. Loads of you getting in touch on this morning. School readiness, says Lee, it's basic parenting to ensure you train your children. It's nothing to do with poverty, it's downright laziness.
Yeah, Bobby says it's solely the parents' responsibility. Yes, some parents may need support, but teachers are there to teach our children. Parents are there to raise their children.
Totally agree with that. Kim says, sorry, what does not having much money have to do with it? Does teaching your kids how to use the toilet involve money? It would save you money to get them out of nappies quickly.
Yeah, it's true.
Joe says it's laughable. People have no personal responsibility now. Why do you expect them to have parental responsibility either? I mean, I do think teachers, and we know a lot about teachers because
we're raised by
teachers. You know, they do a lot. If there is a need, they will jump in. The problem seems to be in the past, it was on a very rare occasion, whereas now it's almost becoming the norm, isn't it? And you've got to give them breakfast, you've got to teach them how to brush their teeth, and now you've got to teach them how to wee in a toilet. I mean,
or teach them what a book is. I mean, just anecdotally, one of my best friends is a primary school teacher, and she says now that she spends half of her time in the toilet with her 5, 6-year-olds in her class because so many of them aren't toilet trained. And she spends half the time taking them to and from the toilet. That's not good for that child, and it's not good for the other children in that class because they're losing out on learning time.
And it's not what the teacher is qualified to do. They're there to teach. I think it's utterly crackers, but I don't know how we dig ourselves out of this situation, actually. If we've got a generation of parents who aren't parenting, or a large proportion of them aren't. Anyway, keep your thoughts coming through, gbnews.com/yoursay. And if you are a friend of GB News, which is absolutely free, by the way, you could also win one of 50,000 exclusive bumper stickers. Have a look at this.
Becoming a friend of GB News is free. It lets you have your say and be part of our shows every day on TV and radio. Plus, if you sign up by January 31st, you could win one of 50,000 limited edition GB News bumper stickers. To become a friend and for your chance to win, go to gbnews.com/bumper sticker now or scan the QR code on screen. 18 plus, UK only. Full T&Cs at gbnews.com/terms of use.
Keep those views coming in. Do stay with us. Paul Coit here with the sports.
Thank you for making us Britain's #1 news channel. Together, we have built something truly extraordinary.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Take care on the M90 Friarton Bridge, where high winds are making driving conditions difficult for motorists. On the M4 eastbound, congestion is building between Junction 26 at Malpas and Junction 24 at Coldra. In Surrey, the M25 clockwise has a road traffic collision between Junction 8 and Junction 9, with 2 lanes closed and delays of around 30 minutes. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway has disruption between St Albans City and Bedford, while Great Western Railway is using road transport between Liskeard and Looe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get this on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the
because
failure is...
you're
the failure is...
deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock, only on GB News.
Welcome back. It's sports time. Look, I'm ready.
Right, good. Are you paying attention?
I am.
Champions League. So there's one game to go now in the Champions League, and that, or where we are at the moment in this group of 36. Okay. Look, I've lost her already. She was there for a second. Chelsea beat Paphos of Cyprus 1-0 yesterday, so they are in 8th with one game to go. The first 8, if you get in the first 8, then you are through to the round of 16, and then 9 to 24 will have to play off. So they're away to Napoli. They've got one more game left, so that's going to be tricky. Marseille 0, Liverpool 3. Very good result. Very, very good result for Liverpool. They're 13 games unbeaten. They are looking very good. The manager, Arne Slot, I'm sure, has been trying to get Bruce Forsyth catchphrases in interviews.
Oh, really?
I think I'm the only person that seems to have spotted this.
Nothing for a pair?
Yeah, every time, you know, and I'm always hearing something. So I don't... Look, let's just hear what he had to say about the game yesterday. I mean, maybe I'm just barking up the wrong tree and there won't be any catchphrase, but see if... Well, let's hear what Arne Slot had to say about the game yesterday.
But we have to play with a lot of times with the same players because we have 3 long-term injuries, and from the start of the season we haven't had as big a squad as some of our competitors have. So it's a lot about the same players, and I don't think it's a reason, but you never know that if every time the same players have to play, or most of them the same players, then that could be maybe a reason where you run out of energy in some games where we've conceded. Because it is more than people understand. We're already 7-8 months in the season, and I don't think Virgil has had more than 3 days off. And it's the same for Ryan, and it's the same for all these players. But they constantly show up, they constantly show mentality, no matter how many setbacks we've had this season.
We'll try it again in the next year and we'll see. They're definitely there somewhere.
Did we play the wrong clip?
I think there's a very good chance that may have happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll save it for the 8 o'clock. They're home at Karabag.
On Karabag. Where did you say it was?
Karabag. Well, I've got to tell you, Karabag is in Azerbaijan.
Yeah, well done.
It's in Agdam in Azerbaijan. Kairat, by the way, who are bottom, are in Kazakhstan. Do you know what Union Saint-Gilloise is?
No.
Belgium. That's Belgium. So just to make sure, because we've had a few questions about where some of the games are from. Newcastle 3, PSV 0. Very good for them. So they are playing Paris Saint-Germain, who are 7th, and they're 8th. So that's going to be an interesting game next week. And Arsenal are top, so they're already through to the 16. So that's where we stand. And next week is the big week, because it's the final week, and then we go into the knockouts.
Can we talk about Manchester City?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting.
The players are putting their hands in their pockets.
Yeah, they are. Because the result was so bad, and it happens every now and again where the players or the club feel guilty. They had 374, I think it was, supporters that flew into the Arctic Circle to see them play Bodo Glimt of Norway, and it was really not good. And it's really, you expect Manchester City would have won this easily. You know, no matter how good Bodo Glimt are in Norway, however well they've done in Europe, the fact it's on a plastic pitch, and the fact it's freezing cold, you still would have expected Manchester City to win, but they lost 3-1. So the price for an away ticket was £25. Bernardo Silva of Manchester City said, "We recognise it was a lot of travelling for the fans who supported us in freezing cold conditions throughout a difficult evening for us on the pitch. Covering the cost of these tickets for the fans who supported us on such a difficult evening is the least we can do." So maybe what they should do is maybe foot up the price for actually the flights and maybe the accommodation, because it actually totals up £9,357, which, when you earn 100 grand a week, it's not a lot, really, is it?
No.
So maybe they should pay for the travel and maybe pay for
that would be good,
and put expenses in as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what's just happened. Got some tennis for you coming up very soon, and also maybe Arne Slot doing the right thing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, let's hope.
If we're lucky.
We'll see you in the 8 o'clock.
All right, still to come for you. Brooklyn Peltz Beckham's wedding DJ is now weighing in on that infamous wedding dance. We'll get more with AJ and Charlotte in a moment.
But first, you're in search of some holiday sun. Here's the forecast across Europe.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Much of Europe at the moment looking as unsettled as the UK. Spells of heavy rain for Greece, windy in Iberia, and those strong winds also containing cold air. So they're going to bring showers and longer spells of rain to Portugal in particular during Friday, with some hill and mountain snow as a consequence. Rain easing off for a time across Italy, but further spells of wet weather expected into the weekend, and we've got a lot of showers, heavy downpours throughout much of Greece. Fresh snow, though, for the Alps.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to stop. You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Sunday with Michael Portillo from 11, only on GB News.
This is Turner at the age of 17. This is a really special work. I'm delighted that this could be in the exhibition because it's a new discovery. This is Turner's first exhibited oil painting. This was a real milestone in any artist's career. Anyone who wanted to become a painter and a professional painter, a Royal Academician, had to be able to demonstrate that they could paint in oils. It was the most exalted, it was the highest medium for a painter to use. This had been out of view for 150 years. Its discovery a couple of years ago was so exciting, and here it is. And it shows Turner at the age of 17 really laying down some of those hallmarks that would become, you know, the things that we know and love about Turner later on.
It's a magnificent piece. We better go and see an early constable.
Yes.
Amy, the young constable, but as we know, constable makes a slower start than Turner.
Yes, Constable does indeed make a slower start than Turner, but he also makes a self-conscious decision to be different to other landscape artists. Spending so much time in the countryside, in the landscape that he was brought up in, he really wanted to capture the landscape with as much veracity, as much truth, and as much freshness as possible. And so he began a quest of making very small oil sketches, like the one behind me. And in these oil sketches, he used oil paints outdoors, on his knee, responding to the changing clouds, the changing light conditions, and learning to paint quickly and, you know, with as much liveliness as possible. When it came to making a bigger landscape painting for exhibition, he wanted to transport those qualities into those big landscape paintings.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers in the company of AJ Pritchard and Charlotte Griffiths. Morning, you two.
Good morning.
Charlotte, we have spoken about this morning, but it's such a shocking story. We've got so many viewers getting in touch on this one, so let's revisit it, shall we? Front page of the Times. 1 in 4 pupils starting school cannot use a book or even recognise what a book is.
I know, it's so depressing. And the reason is, of course, is because children are being given smartphones and iPads from a really young age. But my other theory is that the parents are also on their smartphones and iPads, because I like to think I'm certainly not a perfect parent, but I like to think I read to my children. But sometimes when my kids ask me to read to them, if I'm in scrolling mode, on the couch, being a couch potato, I go, oh, and you really have to force yourself to put the phone down. And that's really bad. And I'm annoyed by how addicted I am to my phone. I'm trying to conquer it. But you do have that feeling daily where you just go, oh, OK, fine. And then it's nice once you start doing it. Yeah, and I wonder how many parents don't do that. They don't stop themselves and they just carry on scrolling on their own phones.
But children should be again, given the textile books, the sensory books when they're very tiny. You know, just so they, Well, actually, a lot of the community kind of parental centres, they give those kind of things out, and you can get free books at McDonald's, for heaven's sake. You know, they give out books, so there's really no excuse for a child not seeing a book, except for I think the double problem of adults being addicted to their scrolling and the kids. It's really depressing. And as for the potty training, potty training is hard, but all parents know you can't send your kid to school unless it's potty training. You just can't. And actually, are doing.
But 26% are having accidents in school.
But what worries me is the shame has gone, because I remember thinking, oh, I've got to get this done, otherwise it'll be so embarrassing when they get to reception. But obviously if 37% aren't potty trained, then that's nearly half the class don't feel the shame and embarrassment, basically, of not having a potty trained child.
One of the things, not having children, but like surely the time spent in school, the children, you want them to learn, you don't want them to be waiting around for other kids. And when it comes down to books, like, it would be a Christmas gift. You'd always get a book at Christmas, whereas now it's like anything that flashes or buzzes or makes a noise to annoy everybody is what you get. It seems to be so counterintuitive.
And books are cheap, by the way. If you're a parent struggling financially, you can get a second-hand book or a library book for free. And iPads are really, really expensive. But, of course, it's the easy choice to send your kid to bed with an iPad and to fall asleep in front of a screen rather than reading out loud to them.
Yeah. Let's have a look, AJ, at the Times, should we? Because it's about the Chancellor. We reckon she's going to announce support for pubs shortly, but everyone else is excluded.
Yeah, so Rachel Reeves has said that she'll announce support for the pubs hit with the soaring business rate. So shops and restaurants are going to be up towards 50%, and hotels could be up 100% in business rates, which I think one thing that's really scary is when you look at kind of it's punishing the employers, so therefore punishing the actual workers. Like, Labour's always on about actually giving people more jobs and opportunities, and especially the cafes and the pubs, they are holding up the high streets. Without them, you walk down some high streets, without a cafe or a business like that, A, where are you going to get your first job? But B, there is literally going to be nothing on the high street.
Such a rite of passage, isn't it, going to work in a cafe or a pub or a hotel for your first job? But I have to say, I do think cafes charge a lot for coffees these days.
I'm not surprised the way it's going.
That's why, obviously.
Who you want to support. Like, on a cafe, do you want to go to a high street chain or do you want to go to someone independent? Like, you have to make that choice now, because, like, you kind of know that one is probably paying tax here and one is probably not paying tax here. Like, are you going to be the person to make that point and decide where your money's spent? Because that's the most powerful decision that you have and the control that you have right now.
Yeah, it's so true. Choose an independent cafe. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I always try and support local. And actually, I was at a local coffee shop, an independent coffee shop at the weekend, and there was a queue out the door. And then the chain next door, nobody was in it.
Love it.
That was really nice to see.
How much was the coffee, though? £4?
It was about £4 each, yeah. Stung a bit.
We haven't got long, but what's happening with the Mail and the wedding dance, the Beckham wedding dance?
The Beckham wedding, the memes this week have been fantastic.
AI is actually out of control.
Really quickly, the DJ at the wedding, his partner has gone online and said, by the way, it's true what Brooklyn said. Victoria's dancing was inappropriate. And, of course, the whole of the internet is clamouring for that video. Apparently, Brooklyn's the only one that has it. But I'm absolutely desperate
Isn't that what happens at a wedding? Like, everybody has a bit too much drink. It gets a bit crazy.
Yeah, but not on the first dance.
But, and you don't grind on your own son. I mean, an embarrassing mum dancing, but not on your own son.
All right, you two, thank you.
Here's your weather.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. Another day with spells of rain across many parts of the UK. Showery, so on and off for many, but more prolonged for parts of eastern Scotland, where there is a warning running through till the end of Friday because of the risk of significant accumulation, 60 millimetres widely for eastern Scotland, 120 over the hills. There'll be some snow over the hill and mountain tops as well, increasingly so during the next couple of days as colder winds arrive. But for much of the UK, it's cloudy. We've got these outbreaks of rain on and off, heavy showers towards the south and southwest in particular. Some drier interludes, feeling unpleasant all in all as those showers set in. Very few places staying dry, although the far north of Scotland likely to be a little drier, albeit cloudy with a few light showers here and there. But it's across eastern Scotland where we do have that warning because of the risk of prolonged rain leading to flooding by the end of Friday. Heavy rain moving through Glasgow as well at this time of the day. The rain on and off further south across Scotland. Northern Ireland, England, Wales seeing showery outbreaks. Something a little drier and clearer in the south and southwest for a time before the next system moves in as we go through Thursday night and into the start of Friday. So the weather very unsettled at the moment with a lot of rain around, but the key points are that it's going to be particularly wet in the east of Scotland, that continuing into the start of Friday, and increasingly windy as we begin Friday to the south. That will keep things frost-free, of course, but an unpleasant start to the day, certainly a tricky commute across southern England and South Wales as the next band of persistent and at times heavy rain moves northwards, that pushing into the Midlands, North Wales, Northern England, Northern Ireland by the afternoon. And low pressure close to the southwest will swing further heavy downpours here with gusty winds, coastal gales as well. The rain continues in eastern Scotland, although more significant snow over the hills.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for helping us reach 10 million followers across our social media platforms. We're truly honoured to have your trust, one follower at a time.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M90 is restricted northbound after junction 5 following a road traffic collision. On the M4 eastbound at junction 33, heavy congestion is building on the off-slip at Capel Lanilturn. In Oxfordshire, the M40 southbound between junction 10 and junction 9 is dealing with an incident, with lane closures and delays of around 30 minutes. In Hampshire, the A303 eastbound between the A3093 and the A34 is slow due to congestion. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway has disruption between London St Pancras International and Bedford, while Great Western Railway has road transport replacing trains between Liskeard and Looe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
An incredible £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours.
Hi, I'm Jane. I won £54,321 with the Great British Giveaway. Oh, definitely please enter. It is real, and that one text has just made my life 100% better.
For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/your say. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/your say, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
A really important thing about GB News, and it's brought something completely different to the landscape.
The mainstream is all about keeping the status quo as it is, ticking along quite nicely. They don't want to ask difficult questions.
GB News exists because there is a desperate need for fearless journalism that puts the people first.
GB News came on the scene as a disruptor, and it has always been a disruptor ever since.
Journalism in this country has been a cosy world full of groupthink until now.
Well, the reality is that most British journalists are afraid. That's not GB News.
Journalism is journalism at the end of the day, and we're not here to serve any masters. Our masters are our audience.
We're here to talk about things in a way that have never been broadcast on British airways before.
Do not miss a moment on GB News.
The #1 news channel in the country.
Good morning. President Trump announces he will not be imposing tariffs on Britain or any other European nation.
Yes, the US president has hailed talks with the NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte as very productive and claims a deal on Greenland is done.
However, in an interview last night, the NATO chief said the issue of whether Greenland remains with Denmark didn't actually come up in the talks.
So, is this the last we will see of tensions over the territory?
Well, meanwhile, the president in Davos did take aim at the state of European nations.
Perhaps how you two and the places where you come from can do much better by following what we're doing, because certain places in Europe are not even recognizable, frankly, anymore. They're not recognizable.
Well, President Trump is going to be returning to the stage a little later this morning, which no doubt will bring more fireworks.
Well, what a whirlwind. This time yesterday, we were talking about a possible trade war and the threat of one NATO ally invading another. This morning, we're waking up to hear that a deal has been done. I will try to make sense of the madness shortly.
Well, meanwhile, President Trump is going to meet President Zelensky today as he says a deal on the war in Ukraine is reasonably close.
The House of Lords has backed a move to ban under-16s from social media platforms.
Prince Harry gives evidence in his case against the publishers of the Daily Mail, telling the court the press has made his wife's life a misery.
After months of mounting pressure, British farmers are taking direct action against a broken supply chain, threatening the future of British food production.
Also, we're going to be talking about British Army veterans who could face prosecution for their conduct during the Troubles after MPs voted to remove protections in the controversial Legacy Act.
Sports news this morning. Well, another good night in the Champions League. Wins for Liverpool, Newcastle and Chelsea, which keeps them all in the important top 8 with one game to go next week. Manchester City refund fans that travel to the Arctic Circle to see them lose at Bodo Glimt. And in the Australian Open, 38-year-old Novak Djokovic powers into the third round.
I'm sure you don't need me to tell you it is an unpleasant start to the day. Spells of rain or showers for many of us, gusty and strong winds in places. Rain warnings for eastern Scotland. I'll have the full gory details in the weather forecast coming up soon.
It's just gone 8 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast.
Right, 2 minutes past 8. Let's kick straight off with politics, because there's a lot to get through this morning. Shadow Chancellor Sir Mel Stride joins us now. Very good to see you. Sir Mel, this morning, can we start with the international stage? Because it does tie very closely with what we're doing here in the UK. Were you surprised to wake up this morning and learn what we've learnt from Davos? Is this a win for the Prime Minister?
Well, I don't think it's a win for the Prime Minister, and good morning, Steve. But was I surprised? In a sense, no, because we live in a very volatile age now with Donald Trump, where he can shift around from one position to the next very quickly. But what I think we have learned, once again, is that on this issue, for example, the threat of tariffs in relation to Greenland, it was, I think, when Europe kind of got together and we, with one voice, said that there would be retaliatory action in the event that America went down that road. So I do think one of the things it tells us is that we can't constantly be reeling from President Trump. We have to sort of put some lines in the sand here, and when that is done, history tells us that it is often the case that Donald Trump moves his position, and I think that's part of the story that you've seen here.
How do you think this chapter has changed the relationship with us and NATO, with us and the US? Do you believe that we still have that special relationship?
Well, I think, Ellie, this is just another inflection point on a broader change that has been going on for some time since President Trump came into office, and that is a decoupling of America from European security, a move away from the international world order and the international institutions that have underpinned much of the stability that we've seen since the Second World War. So it's part of a broader shift. The big question is, how do we respond to that? And I think that is where standing up for our own defence is going to become increasingly important. We've got to work out how we have an economy that's able to spend a lot more on defence so that we can invest in our security and more broadly across Europe stand on our own 2 feet in that regard.
So it's a fair argument then, is it, to say President Trump, even if we don't like his tactics, he's forcing us, at least trying to force us, to step up to the plate when it comes to defence and when it comes to NATO, when it comes to funding. What commitment is there from the Tories that you would step up to that plate? Everyone's talking about 5% funding for defence. It seems to be a very, very long way off, if at all, for the UK.
Yeah, I think that's a fair observation. I don't think one should say that everything that President Trump has been suggesting is wrong. Far from it. And he's been very right about the failure over many years of Europe to step up to the plate when it has come to funding defence. The answer to your question, I think, about, well, how do we do that? Well, it comes down to the economy first and foremost. We need deep thinking around how we get into a situation where we can have a much more rapidly growing economy, and that means getting on top of spending, particularly welfare spending, getting taxes down, getting growth going, and various other reforms we need to bring through. And the Conservative Party is doing the deep thinking that is required to come up with the answers there. In the more short term, we have said that we think the government absolutely should commit to 3% of GDP funding by the end of this Parliament, but we recognise that beyond that we are going to have to go further, and we will of course have a lot to say about that as we approach the next general election, and we present our entire plan as to how we are going to have a much more rapidly growing economy that is going to meet this challenge and many others that our country faces.
What do you make of President Trump's intervention on the Chagos Island deal, calling it an act of great stupidity? Where does that leave the deal? Do you think we could see a U-turn over this?
Well, let's see, Ellie. I think on that he is right. Of course, he did change his position. He had a different position a little while ago, but he's right in his current position. It is madness that we're doing this. It's coming with a huge price tag of $35 billion. As to whether the government U-turns, well, we've had 13 different U-turns so far from this government, so they're very very well versed in U-turning, but we'll have to wait and see. But it is completely the wrong decision, particularly in the context of what we're discussing at the moment, which is the security of our country. It is madness to be paying Mauritius this vast amount of money in order to lease back these islands that this country has owned for a very considerable period of time.
Can I ask you about social media? The Lords have passed this ruling on banning social media for under 16s. Prime Minister seems to be saying, well, we'll block this, which seems extraordinary in a way, but if he doesn't, then he's going to be forced into another U-turn, isn't he?
Well, yes. I mean, look, I feel very strongly, as I know Kemi does, and our party on social media. We think that it should be, elements of it should be banned for those that are children under the age of 16. And there's very good reason for that, because there's already a wealth of evidence as to the harms of social media. Our young people are spending about 3 hours a day on average on social media. About 70% of those children viewing it are viewing violence, live violence on social media. So this is having a real impact on young people, and it does need to be banned, I think. Now, what you saw in the Lords was an amendment that went through to a piece of legislation the government's taking through at the moment that would bring that into effect. It's likely the government's going to overturn that and then consult on the whole issue. But we believe that we should be acting now, and that there's really no time to be lost.
And finally, Sir Mal, can I ask you about our farmers? Because GB News has been invited to another blockade of a supermarket distribution centre this morning, the second one in a month. Essentially, the farmers there are saying they're grateful for the changes on inheritance tax, but they want to see more support from the government, and they want to see fairer prices at the supermarket. Are you behind the farmers on this? And how do we ensure that they get fairer prices and more support, if so?
Well, absolutely. So the approach this government has taken to farming has been entirely ruinous. So the changes they made to something called agricultural property relief, for example, which means that when you pass your farm down from one generation to another, this Labour government has been saying that a huge inheritance tax bill should be payable. And that has already affected many farmers who've taken decisions on the basis of that situation. So the fact that the government has partially U-turned on that will come as cold comfort to many. We need to be looking at things like food security. We need to be getting the cost pressures on farmers down. So that means national insurance or on employing people, for example, which does affect farmers. And we need to be getting inflation down. And you get inflation down not by borrowing vast amounts of money and spending vast amounts of money, which is what this government is doing. And if you can get inflation down, you can get a lot of those cost pressures and price pressures on farmers down too. So these are economic approaches that we need to take that are very different from the path being pursued by the Chancellor.
Yeah, I mean, those economic policies you are in effect saying, are you, that you would, on the surface of it, on the face of it, restrict income into the exchequer because you'd be reducing these costs. Are you confident that if you do that, actually you will see income increase because of better productivity and more farmers and businesses keeping going?
Yes, I think more broadly on the point about inflation, Steve, you know, if you have an economic policy that brings inflation down, and under this government, you know, we've just seen inflation rising in the last set of figures, then you take huge pressures off the economy and you take that inflationary uncertainty out of the picture, and you have an economy that is more robust and able to grow more rapidly because you get more business confidence and more consumer confidence as well. And under those circumstances, of course, the taxman is better off, because if you have a growing, more productive economy, you have a higher tax take, and that in turn takes pressure off the public finances. But the approach this government has taken is firstly to tax jobs. Some of that extra tax has been passed on by way of higher prices, because that's what businesses do. And secondly, they haven't focused on productivity. They've just given in to their trade union paymasters when it's come to wage increases. That's been inflationary. And thirdly, they've borrowed massive amounts of money. We've just had the figures out at 7 o'clock this morning. The second consecutive year of record borrowing by any government outside the pandemic, and that has fueled inflation too. And when you're in that scenario, I'm afraid interest rates stay higher for longer, which means the servicing costs on your national debt is much higher than would otherwise be the case. We're spending about twice what we spend on defence now, just servicing our national debt. And it's all because of this approach of tax and spend that this government has. The alternative, which we're promoting, is get on top of spending, particularly welfare, get people off benefits into work. And if you do that, then you can grow the economy.
OK, so Mel Stride, as always, really good to see you. Thank you very much for your time on GB News Breakfast.
Well, let's just run you through a reminder of the main news this morning, and that is that President Trump says he's struck a deal on Greenland following talks with NATO. The United States, as we understand it, will actually control parts of Greenland, designating them as sovereign base areas under the proposed terms of that deal agreed in Davos.
Although the Secretary-General of NATO, Mark Rutte, has said that the sovereignty of Greenland was not actually a discussion point in their meeting, and he told Fox News that protecting the Arctic region from China and Russia was the actual focus.
President Trump did announce, though, he won't be imposing tariffs on Britain or other European nations anymore.
Well, it came just hours after his Davos speech, demanding that Denmark grant the US the right to buy Greenland while branding Denmark ungrateful.
After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now? So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about.
Let's talk to our chief political correspondent, Catherine Forster, who's here. Morning, Catherine. I mean, look, it's a long way from what he was saying in that speech to where we are today. However, this does seem to be, dare I say, a sensible middle ground.
The beginning of a deal, perhaps, which, look, is obviously huge progress, given there were implicit threats of a military invasion of one NATO ally, of another, economic trade war breaking out. So, yes, but at the moment, it sounds like the elegant agreement, or the fudge, if depending on how you want to frame it, is likely to be something around massively increased US presence on Greenland, far more military bases, far more presence from European allies in that region, too. Reassurances that the NATO Secretary-General, Mark Rutte, has given to Donald Trump about how we can collectively defend Greenland from threats, suggestions that US bases may be US sovereign territory, much in the way that British bases in Cyprus are, but clearly at the moment no suggestion that Greenland is going to be handed over to America, which was Donald Trump's big ask. And of course the NATO Secretary-General cannot do that because that is up to Greenland and up to Denmark. So it doesn't seem like that's happening, certainly not at the moment. Now, Mette Frederiksen, the Danish Prime Minister, will be in England today talking to our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. So we expect to hear more during the day. The Prime Minister, of course, wasn't in Davos, but the government very keen to stress that they have played their part. The Foreign Secretary was there. Our National Security Advisor, Jonathan Powell, was there. The Foreign Secretary's been saying this morning that this is partly a reflection of the strength of our connections in Washington. And I think what is also clear is that there was not the support in America for this. The American people did not like this idea that we're going to take Greenland one way or another. Plenty of Republicans didn't like it either. And also, Europe has actually finally played hardball. The Prime Minister has been tougher than he's ever been towards Donald Trump in his language. People like President Macron have been very punchy, and the EU have basically went, well, if you want a trade war, yeah, we'll take it on. They suspended the deal that had been drawn up last year with the US. So Donald Trump responds to strength. We've seen this again, and as Mel Stride said, you have to put lines in the sand. But also, I think something else that is clear is that trust has gone, and we are going to have to spend more on our defence. For all the government saying they're upping defence spending, I think likely there's going to be a need to be getting to those big numbers much quicker, and I think that's going to be very painful.
OK. Catherine, thank you very much. Let us know what you think. As always, gbnews.com/you'll say.
Right, at 18 minutes past 8, let's have a look at the weather with Aidan.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. Another day with spells of rain across many parts of the UK. Showery, so on and off for many, but more prolonged for parts of eastern Scotland, where there is a warning running through till the end of Friday because of the risk of significant accumulation, 60 millimetres widely for eastern Scotland, 120 over the hills. There'll be some snow over the hill and mountain tops as well, increasingly so during the next couple of days as colder winds arrive. But for much of the UK, it's cloudy. We've got these outbreaks of rain on and off, heavy showers towards the south and southwest in particular. Some drier interludes, feeling unpleasant all in all as those showers set in. Very few places staying dry, although the far north of Scotland likely to be a little drier, albeit cloudy with a few light showers here and there. But it's across eastern Scotland where we do have that warning because of the risk of prolonged rain leading to flooding by the end of Friday. Heavy rain moving through Glasgow as well at this time of the day. The rain on and off further south across Scotland. Northern Ireland, England, Wales seeing showery outbreaks. Something a little drier and clearer in the south and southwest for a time before the next system moves in as we go through Thursday night and into the start of Friday. So the weather very unsettled at the moment with a lot of rain around, but the key points are that it's going to be particularly wet in the east of Scotland, that continuing into the start of Friday, and increasingly windy as we begin Friday to the south. That will keep things frost-free, of course, but an unpleasant start to the day, certainly a tricky commute across southern England and South Wales as the next band of persistent and at times heavy rain moves northwards, that pushing into the Midlands, North Wales, Northern England, Northern Ireland by the afternoon. And low pressure close to the southwest will swing further heavy downpours here with gusty winds, coastal gales as well. The rain continues in eastern Scotland, although more significant snow over the hills.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, time is ticking on your chance to win £85,000. It's our biggest cash giveaway to date. Tax-free as well, so you can spend it on whatever you like. Here are all of the details that you need.
There's only 2 weeks left to ensure you're in the draw to win our biggest cash prize so far. An incredible £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours.
Hi, I'm Jane from Manchester. I won £54,321 with the Great British Giveaway. It is real and it does happen to everyday people like myself. And that one text has just made my life 100% better.
But you have to hurry, as lines close on Friday the 30th of January. For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. The winner may be contacted live on GB News week commencing 9th of February. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Still to come for you, British Army veterans could face prosecution for their conduct during the Troubles after MPs voted to remove some of the protections under the Legacy Act. We'll bring you more in a moment.
Five hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
After portraits of Lawrence of Arabia were given trigger warnings. The gallery has flagged images of Lawrence wearing traditional Arab dress, saying they may differ from today's attitudes and reflect views of their time.
That's just absurd, isn't it? Here we go again, a trigger warning as if we're not adult enough to make up our minds as to what we want to watch, whether we'll be offended by that. Why would you be offended about that?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I can sort of understand in some contexts warning some audiences if they're about to see something that is horrendous, if they're about to see gore, death,
flashing images,
flashing
cameras,
there is some context. So, but this is just a chap in a headdress. I mean, what's wrong with that?
I don't know what's wrong with it. I mean, do we have more pictures of him? I just don't get it. What would you be offended by? What is it? The thing round his head is too tight? Or
I think it's...
What is it? I don't understand.
But this is the whole idea of cultural appropriation.
Oh, I see.
As if people can't wear clothes of other cultures. But the thing about T.E. Lawrence is he was an Arabist. He adored that part of the world. And many people there adored him too. In some ways, why is this any different to the people who wear the kaffirs, you know, the Palestinian sort of neckerchiefs that people wear on protests? Should we attach trigger warnings to those people too?
I mean, you could perhaps attach a trigger warning to me and my wig. I think I'm culturally appropriating somebody who's white because my hair's long and most people of colour don't have their hair as long as I don't know. It just seems that we can't respect and just understand something of the time.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
It's 8:25 now. British Army veterans could face prosecution for Troubles-era conduct in Northern Ireland after MPs voted to remove some protections.
Yes, the Legacy Act currently offers immunity to anyone accused of crimes if they provide information about unresolved cases.
Well, the Northern Ireland Secretary, Hilary Benn, said the 2023 Legacy Act fundamentally failed because it was incompatible with the UK's human rights obligations.
Well, we're now joined by Shadow Minister for Defence, Mark Francois. Good to see you this morning, Mark. What does this mean for our veterans that served in Northern Ireland?
Well, firstly, can I apologise for the black tie, Ellie? I'm just on my way to a funeral for a wonderful lady called Nancy Jaworski. She got to 99. She very nearly got her telegram from Her Majesty the King. She is a great local character. She'll be much missed. So that's why I'm in this. Now, to answer your question, fundamentally, if it hadn't have been for our brave veterans in Northern Ireland who fought the IRA to a draw, the army would say they won. There would never have been any Good Friday Agreement in the first place. And that's one of the reasons they feel so aggrieved in the way they've been treated. Now, 24 of them came to Westminster yesterday to protest at what Labour are doing to them. And they met with Kemi Badenoch. She raised the issue at Prime Minister's questions. She'd raised it the previous week, and of course Starmer never answered her points. He never does. But 24 veterans met with her in the shadow cabinet room, and they allowed me to present her with their campaign badge, which I'm wearing. Now, your viewers will have to be very eagle-eyed to read the motto, but the motto says, "Proud of our country, but ashamed of our government." And that sums up how the veterans feel about Labour. It's their slogan. And what I've done is I've been through the division lists in Hansard this morning, the official record of how people voted. And it's really interesting. So not so much for who voted, but who didn't. So it went through by 387 votes to 106. The Liberals unfortunately voted with Labour last night. But what's really interesting is who didn't vote. The Prime Minister didn't vote. He sent his Labour troops, whipped them through the lobbies to vote to do Sinn Féin a favour, but he didn't vote for it himself. And I think there'll be a lot of annoyance about that. A lot of these soldiers came in the 70s and 80s from what we would now call red wall seats, currently represented by Labour MPs. Now, maybe after Labour's 13 U-turns, they figured they didn't want to vote for this only to have the government U-turn again. I very much hope the government will U-turn on this. So 100 Labour MPs didn't support the Prime Minister. He didn't support them. The Defence Secretary, John Healey, abstained. The Armed Forces Minister, Al Khan's, abstained. That's really interesting because there's a big behind-the-scenes row between the Northern Ireland office, led by Hilary Benn, who want to do this because they've done a sordid deal with the Irish government, and the MOD, who don't. So the two senior ministers in the MOD did not vote last night for this.
I mean, forgive me, Mark, but what are we to make? I mean, these are revisions of this Act, but the Act itself is being replaced, isn't it? There's new legislation actually going through Parliament at the moment, which the government tells us has a deal involved with a package of protections for veterans, including a protection in old age. So although you might be unhappy with what has gone through in this revision, in terms of the new legislation which is going through, does that then actually provide suitable protection?
No, codswallop. General Sir Peter Wall, a former head of the British Army, said the so-called 6 protections, his words, were an insult to veterans because they don't even kick in until a new investigation has taken place. And of the so-called 6 protections, your viewers might like to know, 4 of them would also apply to alleged IRA terrorists. So the idea these were designed specifically to defend Army veterans is literally untrue. 2 more people who didn't vote last night. Nigel Farage didn't vote. Now, I think he was in Davos with a hoi polloi. Maybe he bumped into his friend President Trump, I don't know, but he didn't vote to protect veterans in the Commons last night. And neither, very disappointingly, did Robert Jenrick. And the reason I mention that, now, he may have had a family crisis, there could have been personal circumstances. That can happen to politicians too. But Robert Jenrick, when he was a Conservative, campaigned on this. He did some very powerful videos on it. So I'm very, very surprised and disappointed that Robert was not in the Commons last night to vote with us to defend Northern Ireland veterans, even if he's defected to Reform. So the net of this is the remedial order is allied to the legacy bill, but it's not quite the same. What the remedial order did that we voted on last night, that Labour and the Liberals voted for, that we voted against, what that does is it allows civil prosecutions, often at the behest of Sinn Féin, to restart so they could try and put our veterans in the dock. Why is all this happening? It's because Sinn Féin want to rewrite history. And the soldiers are a pawn in this wider game with the Republican movement, aided and abetted, I'm ashamed to say, by a Labour government, trying to rewrite the history of the Troubles to make the army the aggressors and the IRA some kind of freedom fighters. So ashamed of our government is perfectly appropriate. What we are
Mark,
doing...
forgive me, we are running out of time, so we have got to leave it there. But you put your point across very well indeed. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mark.
This morning.
Dear Sue's been in touch saying, how can any Labour politician face their constituents, let alone stand at the cenotaph, is beyond me.
Hilary Benn said the government did not agree with immunity as a matter of principle, and those who serve in the armed forces have to abide by the rule of law. Well, there's an argument for that. Shadow Northern Ireland Secretary said there are plenty of people in Northern Ireland who would like to move on and respect the decision to draw a line. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit of an odd comparison, but it's what they did in South Africa. They had the Truth and Reconciliation Committee. And as long as people sort of gave evidence, a line was drawn. And I wonder if you do have to draw a line from whatever position, from whatever side on that. Anyway,
keep views coming in. Yep, gbnews.com/your say. And you can get in touch with us by becoming our friend. And if you do, you could also win one of 50,000 GB News bumper stickers, just like this one. Let's take a look.
Becoming a friend of GB News is free. It lets you have your say and be part of our shows every day on TV and radio. Plus, if you sign up by January 31st, you could win one of 50,000 limited edition GB News bumper stickers. To become a friend and for your chance to win, go to gbnews.com/bumper sticker now or scan the QR code on screen. 18 plus, UK only. Full T&Cs at gbnews.com/terms of use.
Now, at 33 minutes past 8, if you're heading to work or school this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M90 remains restricted northbound after junction 5 following a road traffic collision. On the M4 eastbound at junction 33 near Capel Lanil turn, there is congestion on the off-slip. In Sheffield, Northamptonshire's M1 southbound between junction 34 and junction 33 has road management in place, with 2 of 4 lanes closed. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway reports disruption between London St Pancras International and Bedford, while Great Western Railway has replacement road transport running between Liskeard and Looe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk now? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I ever got up? About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave. I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Breaking news just coming into us that Britain will not be signing US President Donald Trump's Board of Peace treaty today. This is coming from the Foreign Minister, Yvette Cooper. She says she has concerns over Russia's possible involvement in the Board of Peace, which would be aimed at resolving global conflicts. President Trump was saying last night that Vladimir Putin had agreed to join, but Putin said his country is still studying the invitation.
I mean, it's basically all to do with Gaza at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of which Tony Blair's meant to be part of it, isn't he?
Yes.
So
he's on the board.
So it's all, yeah. I don't know. Is it a stance worth taking from the Foreign Secretary, or should we actually just say, look, if it's about peace, if it's about certainly stability in the Middle East, shouldn't we just crack on with it? But as I said, Russia isn't actually part of it at the moment. So I don't know. Anyway, let us know what you think. And we'll bring you more developments on that as and when.
In the meantime, shall we have a look at the sports news? Paul Coyte's here with us.
Oh,
Morning.
nice to see you.
Nice to see you. To see you.
Nice. What have you got for us?
Chelsea beat Paphos 1-0 last night. Should have been better, we would think. No offence to Paphos of Cyprus, but you would think that Chelsea would have done better.
But a win is a win.
A win is a win. That's correct. They're in 8th. So going into the last game in the current bit of the Champions League, which is Wednesday, they're away to Napoli, which is going to be tricky. Marseille against Liverpool. So Liverpool won 3-0. Now, I love a tifo. Are you familiar with a tifo?
Tifo, no.
A tifo is when you see in the crowd, all of a sudden you see this huge picture in the crowd. Yeah. And it's often people will hold up, they'll get bits on their chair or pieces of paper, everybody holds them up together and then it makes something. One of the best ones I've ever seen that was in Marseille yesterday. Have a look at this. Now, this is the crowd in Marseille. That is a tifo. It's almost difficult to be able to tell that picture of the Beatles there. So there's the crowd all holding up. It's incredible. It's like a huge flag.
Is that not AI?
No, it's not. And it's almost like I should probably show you more views of it, but that's what it looks like.
It's
if
huge.
you're in the crowd, that's what you see.
Wow.
So the reason, and it's actually the Beatles there, obviously because they're playing Liverpool, but what it says on the headline in the newspaper is que l'histoire se répète, which means
something is repeated.
Actually, I have no idea what it means.
History repeats itself?
Correct. That history repeats itself.
Well,
Very good. Very good. And the reason they're doing that is because Marseille beat Liverpool in the UEFA Cup back in 2004, but Histoire did not répéter itself in the slightest. So they take down But isn't it incredible?
It's fantastic.
It really is magnificent. Newcastle beat PSV Eindhoven, which was great, 3-0. So it's a good night for everybody in the Champions League. So Johan Wieser and Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes.
Yeah.
Sorry?
It's a good night for the winning side.
Well, the British winning side.
The
British winning. When I say us, I mean I refer to all of us here.
Yes.
Should we touch on the tennis?
Oh, well...
No?
We can do. Let's touch on the tennis. Let's have a look at Novak Djokovic, shall we? Novak Djokovic, let's see him in action. Australian Open, 3rd round. He's into now. He's won the Australian Open. Just a few facts about him. I mean, he's 38 years old. 10 times he's won the Australian Open, 24 majors. So he's going for his 25th, that Margaret Court holds the record with him. So he would be the person that's won a major more than anybody else in the world ever in history. Whether he's actually going to go that far, I kind of doubt because of the domination of the two youngsters. But there we are. But there's Djokovic coming through against Francesco Mastrelli of Italy, 6-3, 6-2, 6-2. His 399th Grand Slam victory.
Very good.
Yesterday.
Very good.
And finally, would you like to ask me a question?
Yeah,
Where
Paul,
is
it's
the Olympic
torch.
torch today?
That was very good. Well, let me tell you, let's see where it is, because the Winter Olympics is just a couple of weeks away. And let's see where it is. I'm sure you will recognise as we show you.
I'm looking for...
Ah, you know where that is?
No.
Well, it's gone through the cities of Schio and Assaggio and Bassara del Grappa and Assollo and
Padua.
Montepulciano and Castelfranco Veneto Cittadella and Padua, which is where they are now. The 1,000-year-old university, the home to Giotto's masterpiece, the Scrovegni Chapel. And that's where they are now.
Well, it looks beautiful.
And tomorrow, actually
Googling.
Today, they will head to somewhere that you have heard of,
Yes.
which is Venice.
Oh, Venice.
And we will see the Olympic torch in Venice before it heads north and heads towards the mountains. And it's a couple of weeks away from Cortina, which is where the Winter Olympics will begin.
Well, they drop it in Venice, do they?
No.
Go out.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's true. You've got to be very careful. Are they going to be on a gondola, do you think,
I
with
bet they
that?
are.
Oh,
'Cause
that
they
has
would
to
be.
be.
And I do worry about the flame. But anyway, that's going to be tomorrow.
Lovely. Paul, thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Now, do stay with us. Still to come, are you addicted to binge-watching TV shows? Well, studies suggest it may be because you're lonely. We're going to get more into that with AJ Pritchard and Charlotte Griffiths in the papers next.
First, so, here's a European forecast.
I hope we haven't forgotten anything.
Travel insurance, I tick that box.
Yeah, but remember what you forgot last year.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Much of Europe at the moment looking as unsettled as the UK. Spells of heavy rain for Greece, windy in Iberia, and those strong winds also containing cold air. So they're going to bring showers and longer spells of rain to Portugal in particular during Friday, with some hill and mountain snow as a consequence. Rain easing off for a time across Italy, but further spells of wet weather expected into the weekend, and we've got a lot of showers, heavy downpours throughout much of Greece. Fresh snow, though, for the Alps.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off-limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as
And now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
Prince William is the most popular member of the royal family, according to the latest tracker from YouGov. January 2026 ratings, followed very closely by his wife, the Princess of Wales. They've got favourability ratings of 74% and 77% respectively even. Princess Anne, number 3, the King, number 4. Now, Meghan and Andrew, where do you think they were?
Who's below which one? That's the question. I think Andrew's at the bottom.
Andrew is at the very bottom. It's his lowest ever favourability rating. Just 3% of the British public have a positive view of Prince Andrew.
3% have a positive... Still
3%.
But hang on, there is a principle in polling called the lizard man constant.
Oh,
now,
dear.
this is that you will always find between 3 and 5% of any poll that says something ridiculous, like lizard men are running the world.
OK.
4%, I think, was the percentage of Obama voters in America who believed Obama was the Antichrist. I mean, it's the sort of nonsense noise that you get in a poll. It's usually 3-4%.
Well, you know,
Talking of nonsense noise,
I mean, Andrew, you know, he's still a grandfather and he's still a father. Anyway, Meghan also had her worst favourability ratings ever, 19%. But the thing that struck me in this polling is that 64% of Brits think we should continue to have a monarchy, but only half think it's value for when eventually he does become king. I suspect there's going to be a lot of cost-saving measures when it comes to how the royal family is funded. There's 500 staff, just over, which are funded by the sovereign grant, which is basically our money. You know, tens of millions a year that the sovereign grant costs us. So maybe he'll take a look at that, but I am assured that he'll continue the big staple traditions that give us the USP for Great Britain. The coronation, trooping the colour, that's all staying.
That's the thing. I think the Spanish royal family is less popular than ours because they all wear suits and ties all the time. They don't have the big coronation. They don't have the pomp and circumstance. What makes our royal family so special and unique is the silly hats and the gold and the jewels.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Welcome back to Breakfast. We're going through the papers in the company of AJ Pritchard and Charlotte Griffiths. Morning, you two. AJ, can we start actually with something totally different? And this is about Baron Trump being the knight in shining armour. This is in the Daily Mail today.
Yes, so Baron Trump in quite an outrageous story, to be honest, helping out in such a way. So Donald Trump's teenage son, Barron, saved the life of a female friend by calling the police in the UK after he saw that she was being attacked on FaceTime and made that call to the UK police. It's been reported that she'd been raped, and this has been heard in court. And this is kind of all the real information that we've got at the minute with this story. But yeah, what a quick decision to help out in that scenario.
Well, it wasn't actually as quick as he'd hoped because it took 8 minutes. So he was having a FaceTime with his kind of online friend in the UK, and it took him 8 minutes to work out how to call 999 because, of course, he was in the States.
Yeah.
So then he called 999 frantically, was in a real state, feeling guilty he'd waited so long, and got told off by 999 saying, "Stop being so rude, sir." And the woman or the man on the other end of the phone asked him loads of questions, and he said, "Stop asking me questions. This girl is being beaten up as we speak." And she reprimanded him and told him off. And I felt very embarrassed, actually, on behalf of the UK, because he was doing a good thing. And, you know, he was being chastised by this kind of hoity-toity 999 advisor.
It's funny, like, you say that story on the 999 side. Like, I remember when I needed 999 at that time, I got told to literally, it was to do with an ambulance, so I got told to literally order an Uber because they couldn't get an ambulance at that time. And there's so many different things. Actually, yeah, you kind of feel like you're calling to try and help in this scenario, and sometimes it gets thrown back at you in quite a heavy-handed way.
I can understand, to be fair to them, I can understand why you want someone on the other side to be calm, polite, collected. Sadly, that's not reality, is it, if there's an emergency going on?
She should have said, "Stay calm, not don't be so rude," which is what she told him.
Yeah, I agree. Can we have a look at toddler tubbies, Charlotte, in the sun?
Well,
what's going on with our toddlers?
Just so depressing. We have the least healthy toddlers in Europe. They have bad mental health, they have bad teeth, they eat sugar and donuts, so they're obese. They're not taking the vaccine. And the solution to this...
Not toilet trained,
and then we know from earlier in the show they're not toilet trained, they don't know what a book is. I mean, honestly, I have to say this really troubles me a lot. And the solution is, apparently, more health visitors from the NHS and more family hubs provided by the state. And while that's fair enough, and when I had my children, you know, health visitors were invaluable and an amazing service, just throwing more kind of NHS at people isn't enough. You have to... Parents, we're going to have to learn how to look after our children.
All right, fair enough. But how do you do that? I mean, that's a big thing. What worries me about all of this is we have got a generation of parents now who don't seem to know how to parent. Not all of them, by a long shot, but a substantial number.
37%?
Yeah, right, they don't know how to parent. So how do you teach people who are already parents how to do the job?
Well, Isn't it just being lazy? Like, we live in a day and age of being like, if you want to find a solution to a problem, you can actually find it online very quickly.
I don't know if it is...
From a parent's side. But, like, reading a book to a child, potty training, these things we spoke about before, like...
Yeah, but it's basic, isn't it? So I wonder if it's not about them being lazy and just... They, for some reason, are not knowing that they have to do it.
There's a knowledge gap there, and I'm afraid it starts probably with schools, again. Maybe this is throwing more state into the problem, but educating children, teenagers, when they become parents, maybe more, I don't know, state adverts. Just education, or just culture needs to somehow change.
I sort of feel this generation is sort of lost in that sense. So you've got to start with the next generation, start with the kids and teach them how to parent in case they're not being parented properly themselves.
Teach them how to eat at school, because I know when my kids learn about recycling at school, they parrot it back to me and I'm like, yeah, well done, we do recycle in this house. So maybe if they were taught to eat properly, they'd say, Mum, I don't want a donut today, thanks.
Yeah.
Unlikely, actually, I have to say, with my children.
It is just
common
basic,
sense, isn't it?
But
Like,
what we're talking about here is basic parenting.
Yeah,
it's feeding your children. Yeah, and common sense.
I agree. What's happened to us all?
you have
We've
food
lost
and
these
vegetables,
things.
like, obviously it's going to be healthier than going and grabbing the cheaper stuff that is obviously always at hand, the donuts and the Haribo.
But this is the worrying thing, AJ, I think, because it is common sense. But it's a common sense a lot of people don't seem to have at the moment.
It's not common sense.
It's not there, no.
What's interesting about the study is that people in Europe do have it. They do have this knowledge. That's what the study says. If you're in Italy, your kids are growing up eating fresh vegetables, reading, being outside in the parks. So we've got to see what they're doing that we're not.
It's more of a family community, isn't it? When you talk about Europe, you kind of your parents, your grandparents, everybody gets around the dinner table together.
Matriarchs.
Community side of it is much more powerful, I find.
And now, let's chill out a little bit with the times. I know you both want to talk about this one. Are you a binger when it comes to TV shows, AJ?
I'm not. I prefer to listen to podcasts, to be honest. But I did say on one thing that I have read here is kind of like. It depends. What do you class as a binger? What do I watch 1 or 2 episodes, or do I watch 4 episodes?
Binging the
a
whole
night?
series in a week.
This says
a week. I feel like my friends do that in a night time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's out of control.
This study says 3.1 episodes per sitting is a binge. 3 episodes.
That's a lot. That's 3.5 hours.
That's a lot. I think that's a lot.
Yeah, but the episodes these days are coming down to 40 minutes. Yeah, on Netflix. They are. So being really specific on the kind of times of the shows. They want you to binge it.
I'm a binger if it's like that. We'll often watch 3 episodes a night.
Do you have 21 binges a year? Because that's also something that this study has found.
Definitely, yeah.
21 binges a year. That's 21, all basically watching TV all night long. That's a lot.
Yeah. I worry about running out of content. Do you ever get to the end of a really good series?
Panic.
You're like, panic. You're like, I've got nothing to watch. I've got nothing to watch at the moment.
That's when the stream wars come in, because you start looking at the other competitors. You're like, what have they got coming next?
Yeah.
Or like, when's the next season this coming? Maybe I am an addict. That's what I'm finding out right now.
And I'm always asking for recommendations for good series. Have you got any?
We've just finished The Witcher.
Oh, I haven't heard.
Oh no, I can't get into that too much.
Landman.
Is that...
Landman, Paramount.
Landman, is that?
Yeah, you've got to watch that one. That's brilliant.
See, I'm not into the fantasy stuff, fairies and witches and.
No.
Well, The Witch is very good.
Sci-fi? Do you like a bit of sci-fi?
Yes.
Quite like a bit of sci-fi.
Crime.
Have you got a good
good drama?
Got a good sci-fi?
Silo.
Silo, right? OK, we'll have a look at that one.
We'll take that.
After everything, I can get my hands on it.
Yeah, let us know what you think. gbnews.com/you'll say. Thank you very much, you two.
Very much. Right, time for the weather. It's not very nice, I'm afraid. Here's Aidan.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. Another day with spells of rain across many parts of the UK. Showery, so on and off for many, but more prolonged for parts of eastern Scotland, where there is a warning running through till the end of Friday because of the risk of significant accumulation, 60 millimetres widely for eastern Scotland, 120 over the hills. There'll be some snow over the hill and mountain tops as well, increasingly so during the next couple of days as colder winds arrive. But for much of the UK, it's cloudy. We've got these outbreaks of rain on and off, heavy showers towards the south and southwest in particular. Some drier interludes, feeling unpleasant all in all as those showers set in. Very few places staying dry, although the far north of Scotland likely to be a little drier, albeit cloudy with a few light showers here and there. But it's across eastern Scotland where we do have that warning because of the risk of prolonged rain leading to flooding by the end of Friday. Heavy rain moving through Glasgow as well at this time of the day. The rain on and off further south across Scotland. Northern Ireland, England, Wales seeing showery outbreaks. Something a little drier and clearer in the south and southwest for a time before the next system moves in as we go through Thursday night and into the start of Friday. So the weather very unsettled at the moment with a lot of rain around, but the key points are that it's going to be particularly wet in the east of Scotland, that continuing into the start of Friday, and increasingly windy as we begin Friday to the south. That will keep things frost-free, of course, but an unpleasant start to the day, certainly a tricky commute across southern England and South Wales as the next band of persistent and at times heavy rain moves northwards, that pushing into the Midlands, North Wales, Northern England, Northern Ireland by the afternoon. And low pressure close to the southwest will swing further heavy downpours here with gusty winds, coastal gales as well. The rain continues in eastern Scotland, although more significant snow over the hills.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you to our global community for watching and listening to GB News. We're not only the #1 news channel in Britain, we're chosen by you around the world.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M90, a collision is restricting the northbound side after junction 5. On the M4 westbound, expect slow-moving queues between junction 41 at Pentila and Baglan and junction 43 at Landarcy. In Thurrock, a broken-down vehicle on the A13 westbound between the A1012 and the M25 is closing 3 of 4 lanes. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway has disruption between London St Pancras International and Bedford, while Great Western Railway is using road transport between Liskeard and Looe. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
An incredible £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours.
Hi, I'm Jane. I won £54,321 with the Great British Giveaway. Oh, definitely please enter. It is real, and that one text has just made my life 100% better.
For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. President Trump announces he will not be imposing tariffs on Britain or other European nations.
US President has hailed talks with the NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte as very productive and claims the deal on Greenland is done.
However, last night the NATO chief said the issue of Greenland's sovereignty with Denmark didn't actually come up in talks.
So, is this the last we'll see of tensions over the territory?
Well, meanwhile, President Trump will meet President Zelensky today as he says a deal on the war in Ukraine is reasonably close.
Breaking news this morning, Sir Keir Starmer has rejected Donald Trump's invitation to be part of his Gaza peace board. It's over concerns of Russian involvement in the plan. Is this another fresh blow for the special relationship?
Yes, a big day in Davos. The signing of Donald Trump's Board of Peace. The UK will not be participating. Also, has Donald Trump really got a deal on Greenland? I'll tell you what we know shortly.
Our House of Lords has backed a move to ban under-16s from social media platforms.
An emotional Prince Harry gives evidence in his case against the publisher of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday. He told the court the press made Meghan's life a misery.
After months of mounting pressure, British farmers taking more direct action against broken supply chains, threatening the future, they claim, of British food production.
We're here at the Lidl distribution centre in Doncaster, where farmers have set up a blockade. They've put their tractors next to the entrance and the exit, stopping lorries from coming in and out. And similar protests are also being held this morning in Peterborough and Luton.
I'm sure you don't need me to tell you it is an unpleasant start to the day. Spells of rain or showers for many of us, gusty and strong winds in places. Rain warnings for eastern Scotland. I'll have the full gory details in the weather forecast coming up soon.
It's just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
Right, there's a lot to get through in this next half hour, so let's crack on with President Trump, who says he's struck a deal on Greenland following talks with the head of NATO. The US apparently will control parts of Greenland by designating them as sovereign base areas under the terms of the proposed deal agreed in Davos.
But the Secretary-General of NATO, Mark Rutte, has hit back. He insists the sovereignty of Greenland was not a discussion point in their meeting. He told Fox News that protecting the Arctic region from China and Russia was the actual focus.
Well, President Trump's announcement also that he made that he will no longer impose tariffs on Britain or other European nations.
Well, it came just hours after his speech in Davos demanding that Denmark grant the US the right to buy Greenland, while branding Denmark as ungrateful.
After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now? So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about.
Well, he went on to lay out his thoughts on Europe, and to be honest, he didn't hold back.
Certain places in Europe are not even recognizable, frankly, anymore. They're not recognizable. And we can argue about it, but there's no argument. Friends come back from different places. I don't want to insult anybody and say I don't recognize it. And that's not in a positive way. That's in a very negative way.
Meanwhile, in the past 30 minutes or so, we have learned that the Prime Minister's Keir Starmer has snubbed President Trump's invitation to join his Board of Peace. It's over concerns about the involvement of the Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Right, let's try and make sense of all of this with our chief political correspondent, Catherine Forster. These terms of the deal, some things have leaked out. Are they right, do we know, or not?
I think a lot is very, very unclear. So we went from possible trade war and an invasion of Greenland just a day or so ago to Donald Trump saying, we've got a deal. It sounds like there is the beginning of an agreement or a framework of an agreement, not a deal as such. But clearly, the NATO Secretary-General, Mark Rutte, who once referred to Donald Trump as daddy, has got an exceedingly good relationship with him, had a meeting with him yesterday and stressed to him basically the 1951 agreement that America can put as many troops in Greenland as it wants, as many bases as it wants, and how European countries are very, very keen to beef up security in and around Greenland and in the Arctic more generally. Now, I've just been on the phone to well-placed sources this morning about this idea that the military bases that the US can put on Greenland, it's got one, it used to have 17, we'll put more on, would be sovereign US territories. That's widely being reported. My source says that that is incorrect. Let's see. Also, I think worth saying, of course...
Because that would raise issues about, depending on how big these areas were, about mineral rights and all the rest of it.
Well, yes, but I mean, I suspect, like in Cyprus, our British bases are British territory, but the site of a military base is not that big. Anyway, I'm being told that is incorrect. But really, is Donald Trump getting anything more than what he already could have? We've all been marched up this hill. People have been very alarmed. People in Greenland have been having nightmares, unable to sleep. Donald Trump will present it as a win. But what seems to have happened is it's not popular in America. The market's had a bit of a wobble. A lot of Republicans weren't keen on seizing Greenland, and Europe has played hardball. The Prime Minister, perhaps the most emollient of them, but still taking a tougher line than he's ever done before towards Trump, yesterday saying in PMQs, we will not yield. And the EU basically going, you want to slap us with tariffs? Well, we will retaliate. So Donald Trump responds to strength. It seems that we have had a bit of show of strength from Europe, but I think what is clear is that we are all going to have to up our defence spending, because clearly the trust has gone, and that very precious alliance, which is not good for Vladimir Putin or for China, is under a lot of strain.
Where do you think this leaves our special relationship, Catherine? And where do you think this leaves the NATO alliance? I mean, you touched there on trust and whether the trust has been broken. Do you think America can be trusted now to come to Europe's aid if we were to need them?
Well, I think that's a very open question, and I think European leaders, after the way that Donald Trump has behaved in the last few days, will be focusing their minds on the fact that we have been very dependent on the US. I mean, Britain, for example, our nuclear deterrent, we only have in conjunction with America. I think that we're likely to be an increasing decoupling, and we are going to have to rearm, I think, big time. Now, the government talks a lot about upping defence spending, but they've actually only committed to getting to 3% by 2034. Donald Trump has demanded 5% by 2035. So, and that will be very painful, because it will be very, very expensive, and we haven't had defence spending at that level since, the 1980s. And what will be cut? We don't have much money at the moment.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we've also heard this morning about the Board of Peace, which was meant to be sorting out the situation in the Middle East with Gaza and Israel, but also now seems to be evolving into some sort of global peace council thing that Trump wants to set up, and Britain won't sign.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a signing of that, I think, in about half an hour from now. And yes, it was originally to do with the reconstruction of Gaza, but it sounds like Trump is thinking he can broaden it out, potentially as some sort of rival to the United Nations. But he's upset a lot of people because he has invited Vladimir Putin to join, and Yvette Cooper, the Foreign Secretary, have said that the UK is not taking part because of concerns about President Putin being part of something which is talking about peace. The White House says they've got 35 world leaders. Well, we'll see who they are. Apparently Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, Pakistan, Kuwait, Qatar. No sort of Western European leaders there at the moment, but let's see what happens shortly.
All right. Well, you'll keep an eye on that for us, Catherine. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, at 9:09, farmers in Doncaster are set for another blockade of supermarket distribution centres this morning.
Well, the disruption follows an earlier demonstration this month where loaded lorries were barred from entering or leaving.
Well, we're joined now by GB News Yorkshire and Humber reporter Anna Riley, who has been exclusively invited down to speak with the farmers this morning. What are they telling you, Anna?
Start talking.
Good morning, Ellie and Stephen. Yes, we are here with the farmers at the Little Distribution Centre in Doncaster. You can see their signs here, support farmers, not Starmer. They're sticking out in the rain here as well. We've been here since before 5 o'clock this morning for this blockade. It's also happening at the same distribution centre, a Little Distribution Centre in Peterborough and also in Luton. I'm joined now by Andrew Lyle. He's a proud Warburton's wheat grower. You're an arable farmer. Just tell me why you've turned out today.
It's just supporting the British farmers and their produce. There's a lot of imported food which isn't taxed at the minute, and we feel that some of these lorries have got food in from European countries, which is unfair for us, really.
And why is it that you're wanting supermarkets to back British produce?
It's just, we want it fair labelling. The labelling needs to be right to show that it is from audited properly, and a lot of these imports aren't on our standards. Our Red Tractor or whatever assurance company, they're not on our standards, so we just want to have it a level playing field for European stuff and British stuff, so the consumer can see what he wants to buy or she wants to buy.
And what is it about the quality of British produce that farmers make compared to imports that we might get?
Well, we have to go to a certain standard, and that standard is everybody, all these farmers here, all have to be assured with Red Tractor or whatever, and that's where we have to be. And it's just getting it right to make sure it's healthy, but we're not sure on what food's coming into the UK, what standard that is at.
And you think education's important, isn't it? Especially in terms of where food comes from. You work with a lot of schools and young people.
Yeah, I do. Farmer Andrew, known as andrewsfarmtrips.com. In North Lincolnshire, I have 20 school visits every year, so about 700 kids on farm, which is supported by government schemes. I get paid to do it, whereas the school comes on farm free, and I show them how the wheat's grown, how different crops are grown, and I think that's very important. And it's just the government needs to understand that needs to be pushed forward, and hopefully in time there'll be policies there that we can tap into and other schemes to help the growing the crops and looking after the environment together, rather than. But at the minute there's nothing out there really. There's supposed to be some schemes coming live, but we haven't heard. And for budgeting purposes, we don't know where we are, and we can't budget for anything because there's nothing out there yet. So we're just a bit unsure. Just need a bit of clarification, really.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you for joining us on GB News, and GB News being given exclusive access with these farmers invited here to cover this blockade this morning.
OK. Anna, thanks very much indeed, and I'll keep us right across that today.
Now, 13 minutes past 9, time is ticking on, and your chance to win £85,000 and our biggest cash giveaway to date. We think 8 days left.
Yeah, it's 1 week tomorrow.
It's tax-free as well. You can spend it on anything you like. Here are all of the details that you need.
There's only 2 weeks left to ensure you're in the draw to win our biggest cash prize so far. An incredible £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours.
Hi, I'm Jane from Manchester. I won £54,321 with the Great British Giveaway. It is real, and it does happen to everyday people like myself. And that one text has just made my life 100% better.
But you have to hurry, as lines close on Friday the 30th of January. For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. The winner may be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 9th of February. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Best of luck to you on that one. There's still to come. We're going to be live at the High Court as Prince Harry is set to go there again today, this time apparently supporting the actress Liz Hurley in her battle against the Daily Mail.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it. Don't get us on the BBC. Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines. The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos. What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak. Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world, but look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock, only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Welcome back. Now, Prince Harry is expected to return to court today after an emotional exchange in his trial against the Daily Mail yesterday.
Well, apparently he's going to be supporting Liz Hurley as she takes the stand today.
Well, it comes as the Duke of Sussex was on the verge of tears yesterday as he claimed the paper's publisher made his wife's life an absolute misery.
Let's talk to our royal reporter, Cameron Walker. Morning, Cameron. I mean, he's certainly made the headlines.
Yeah, he certainly did, Stephen. I mean, I was in court with Prince Harry as he was being cross-examined for 2.5 hours by Associated Newspapers. Barrister, I think the best word to describe it is frosty, maybe bitter, but Harry was certainly ready for a fight. And in fact, the judge had to remind Harry on 2 occasions during that cross-examination that he was only there to answer questions, not to fight his case. That is for his own barrister, David Sherborne Casey. Now, Associated Newspapers, the publisher of the Mail and the Mail on Sunday, they deny all allegations of unlawful information gathering, including phone hacking and blagging, and they are very much prepared to fight this in court. And I think it was pretty clear from Harry's point of view that he wanted his day in court. He wanted to convey to us in the journalist box and the public at large how the Daily Mail made him feel over all these years. And the Duke said, I think it's fundamentally wrong for Associated Newspapers to put us all, as in the 7 claimants in this case, through this again when all we required was an apology and some accountability. It's a horrible experience, and the worst bit of it is, by taking a stand against them, they continue to come after me and make my wife's life an absolute misery. And when he talked about his wife Meghan, that is when he appeared to get emotional, his voice cracked, he bit his lip, and when he left the courtroom, he was clearly very, very upset indeed. Now, Anthony White Casey put it to Prince Harry that the result of the articles that he doesn't like were written with legitimate sources by Daily Mail journalists. One, that Prince Harry had a leaky circle of friends. Prince Harry says he didn't have a leaky circle of friends, and if he suspected any of his friends of leaking stories to the Mail, he would have cut off all contact with them. Two, that the journalists would find legitimate sources on the ground. But Harry says, well, how on earth did they know I was in Botswana, for example, or Malawi in the first place? That must have come from unlawful information gathering. Three, that palace press officers and members of the royal household would tell Daily Mail journalists about Prince Harry. Well, Harry says they would only ever discuss the institution with journalists, not his love life. And number four, Harry had a relationship with journalists himself in drinks receptions and the like. Harry says he was forced to have a relationship with certain journalists. Well, the case continues here at the High Court. Harry will be back here to show solidarity with Liz Hurley, who is the next claimant to give her evidence, and Associated denies all the allegations against them.
Cameron, thanks very much indeed.
Now, Britain's Newsroom coming up at 9:30 this morning. Andrew Pearce and Miriam Cates are here to tell us all about it. Morning, you two.
Good morning.
What have you got for us?
I tell you what I'm really fascinated by, this extraordinary story about the number of fraudulent driving tests.
Oh.
The number of fraud has soared by 49%. And the extraordinary ways people are cheating, either in the theory test, using technology, impersonating drivers. It's an extraordinary story.
Yeah, the RAC are very worried about it, and to do with road safety. So this is just the number of people that have been caught.
Yeah.
We don't know how many people
Thousands every year.
have managed to cheat the system. So that's a big story. We're also going to be looking at the big defeat for the government in the House of Lords last night. The House of Lords have voted to ban social media for under 16s. What will that look like when it comes back to the Commons?
Well, it seems very odd when we know what the general sentiment is, that now the government's in a position of either U-turning on this or trying to block it.
Yes, and going against their own MPs and the public.
Yeah.
It is very difficult.
They've got themselves into a real mess of this. They're talking about a consultation. I think the public view is clear. The public want it.
I think so.
And it seems that the House of Lords massively want it, and I think most MPs want it.
Of course, the tech companies are extremely powerful in this, and I think that's part of the problem. Also on children, a shocking new report out today showing that the number of children not ready for school has gone up again. A quarter of children now not properly toilet trained when they arrive in the classroom, and teachers report spending hours each week changing nappies, clearing up mess when they should be teaching. So what's going wrong? What can we do about it?
It's got to be a major failure of parenting, doesn't it? I'm afraid.
I think it's a whole load of things. A lot of parents just genuinely don't know what to do now because they're so isolated. They're not taking children along to groups all the time, spending time with grandparents. It's very difficult to know what to do if you're completely on your own in parenting.
And of course, a lot more mums are at work now.
It's true. All that's coming up. And also the Gaza peace deal. Who's in, who's out, who's paid for their place at the table. All that after your weather. And who said?
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. Another day with spells of rain across many parts of the UK. Showery, so on and off for many, but more prolonged for parts of eastern Scotland, where there is a warning running through till the end of Friday because of the risk of significant accumulation, 60 millimetres widely for eastern Scotland, 120 over the hills. There'll be some snow over the hill and mountain tops as well, increasingly so during the next couple of days as colder winds arrive. But for much of the UK, it's cloudy. We've got these outbreaks of rain on and off, heavy showers towards the south and southwest in particular. Some drier interludes, feeling unpleasant all in all as those showers set in. Very few places staying dry, although the far north of Scotland likely to be a little drier, albeit cloudy with a few light showers here and there. But it's across eastern Scotland where we do have that warning because of the risk of a prolonged rain leading to flooding by the end of Friday. Heavy rain moving through Glasgow as well at this time of the day. The rain on and off further south across Scotland. Northern Ireland, England, Wales seeing showery outbreaks. Something a little drier and clearer in the south and southwest for a time before the next system moves in as we go through Thursday night and into the start of Friday. So the weather very unsettled at the moment with a lot of rain around, but the key points are that it's going to be particularly wet in the east of Scotland, that continuing into the start of Friday, and increasingly windy as we begin Friday to the south. That'll keep things frost-free, of course, but an unpleasant start to the day, certainly a tricky commute across southern England and South Wales as the next band of persistent and at times heavy rain moves northwards, that pushing into the Midlands, North Wales, Northern England, Northern Ireland by the afternoon. And low pressure close to the southwest will swing further heavy downpours here with gusty winds, coastal gales as well. The rain continues in eastern Scotland, although more significant snow over the hills.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for helping us reach 10 million followers across social media. We are truly honoured to have your trust, one follower at a time.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the M90, northbound after Junction 5, a road traffic collision is causing restrictions. The M4 westbound is congested between Junction 41, Pentila and Baglan, and Junction 43, Landarcy. In Thurrock, a broken-down vehicle on the A13 westbound between the A1012 and the M25 has 3 of 4 lanes closed, with disruption expected into late morning. And on the trains, East Midlands Railway has disruption between London St Pancras International and Bedford, while Great Western Railway has replacement buses between Liskeard and Looe, and disruption near Exeter St David's. For travel news, go to gbnews.com.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Well, 2026 has already got off to a fascinating start in politics, but what might be next? With us now in the studio is impressionist Tony Lapidus. Well, Tony, very nice to have you here. Thank you.
Great to see you. We've introduced you as Tony, but I think you might also be Sir Keir Starmer for the moment. And Sir Keir, looking back on 2025, what's your most memorable occasion from the year and your proudest achievement?
Well, look, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it. It means so much to me. There have been so many achievements. Namely, one of the most important ones was when Donald Trump invited me up in the Sharm el-Sheikh summit and then told me to retreat like a little boy to the corner. It was a projection of such leadership. And the British people voted for a strong leader, and I think I conveyed